Eugene, Oregon is the center of the college football universe this Halloween night, and the eyes of the nation are fixed on Autzen Stadium, where great teams in the past have come to die. This Friday night, the number 10 Oregon Ducks and the 59,000 Autzen faithful will look to strike fear in the hearts of the number 4 USC Trojans. A trip to the Rose Bowl could hang in the balance. Duck football is next. This was the scene at Autzen Stadium about an hour ago as the students poured in to get the best seat. We've seen them take some tumbles on their way down to the first row, and the fans are in and fired up. They've been at Autzen all day, ready for this one to get going. The number 4 USC Trojans and the 10th ranked Oregon Ducks in the premier college football game in the country this week. Hi everyone, Joe Giansanti along with my friend Anthony Newman as we begin on our pregame show here on Comcast Sportsnet. There's a look at the scene here at Autzen Stadium. Boy, all the hype. We've been around a little while, Anthony, but all these years I can never remember a game as much hype as this one, and now we're about ready to get it going.
Well, you know, this is what college football is all about. Two powerhouse football teams from the Pac-10 coming to Autzen Stadium on Halloween night.
You know, all those words, Anthony, all week long. We see, you know, Masoli's been quiet. The Ducks have tried to treat it like a normal game. The one thing, it's not a normal game because of where these two teams are in the standings. You've got Oregon sitting at the top of the league with USC second. Oregon, again, the best chance here, maybe the only chance to get USC off the throne. They've been there for 8 years.
Well, right now, Oregon controls their own destiny, and that's what Chip Kelly's always telling his football players. We control our own destiny, and it's one game at a time.
We talked about all that hype this week. The ESPN College Game Day guys were here, Anthony. I mean, seeing that whole scene this morning and the thousands of Duck fans. I mean, I've lived in Eugene for a long time, and I'll tell you, walking around town, I've never seen it like it was this week with ESPN's College Game Day here. You know, it's just, I don't know, the scene was just incredible. This was early in the morning. People were out there having a great time watching this show, and I watched the first half from home, came down for the second half, but it was a lot of fun, wasn't it?
Well, this is what fans want to see. This was a great thing for Oregon and Eugene for a game day to come here and have the experience of game day being here as well.
Of course, all the signs. I thought that one interesting sign, maybe the best one, was it said College Game Day scoreboard, Eugene 4, Corvallis 0. And also Phil Knight, what a great job he did as a celebrity picker. The Duck was there as well. What a morning for Oregon Duck fans, and they stayed here all day. And then, of course, at the end of the show, they have the big selection. So let's go down and see what Travis Devers has to say about that, because at the end of the thing, Lee Corso, of course, going to put the head on. A little twist on this one, though. Travis Devers down on the field. Travis?
Guys, like you were talking about, there were fans lined up here outside the Casanova Center as early as 2 o'clock this morning, waiting to get a glimpse of the ESPN Game Day crew, waiting for Kirk Herbstreit, Lee Corso, and Desmond Howard to go live. They were out there in full force with their creative signs and, of course, with their duck ear, looking to help out the Ducks' karma. And like you mentioned, the special guest as well, Phil Knight. Now, at the end of every broadcast, it culminates with Lee Corso donning the head of the mascot of which team he thinks is going to win the game. We'll see if he made friends with a few fans with his selection. Like you can see, it was an incredible atmosphere out there this morning. Now, the last time ESPN Game Day was here 2 years ago, Oregon came away with a 27-17 win over who else? USC. Guys, back to you.
Well, that's right, Travis, and I'll tell you, when he did that, I think you'll see that would show up on all the promos for years and years. It was a nice moment. Of course, now the Ducks have to take care of business in this game, Anthony, and the way they're playing right now, they're playing very good football, defensively out of this world, and they are very confident coming into this football game and feel like they're going to be able to get the victory. As we look at the Widmer flashback, though, Ordinary Brothers, Extraordinary Beer. The flashback is brought to you by Widmer Brothers. Everybody's doing it. I mean, all phases of the game right now are hitting yellow. We've seen a stormtrooper in green. We've seen, I don't know, there's lots of stuff. I don't even know what it is, but it's been pretty funny to see these folks come in. There's Walter Thurman. Of course, he wishes he could be in the shoulder pads. Oregon thin in the secondary with the injuries they have had there. And really, that's a matchup we're going to have to keep an eye on, Anthony, because USC has great receivers. Matt Barkley can get them the football, and you know Pete Carroll's going to try to take advantage of some young guys in the Oregon secondary.
Well, that's the play action. I can see the play action coming, Joe, with the young secondary, trying to get behind the young secondary. Secondary is very fast. You want to come up fast for the run and get behind them like they did last year.
You know, one thing USC likes to do, of course, on the defensive side of the ball is put a lot of pressure. They're very athletic at the defensive ends. But I think, Anthony, one thing we've been very good defensively, as I mentioned earlier. Only one offensive touchdown in Pac-10 play. I'm sorry, none. They've only allowed one drive for a touchdown in Pac-10 play. All the other ones came after Oregon turnovers on special teams. So you're talking about a defense that's playing absolutely fantastic right now, and that's really led by Will Tukwuafu. He's really the leader of this defense, and he's going to put pressure on Matt Barkley today.
Well, he's a guy that comes off that corner, Joe, so fast, he's so powerful, but also he does a great job to stop the run. Sometimes you got a pass rusher, all he can do is pass rush. Well, Will can also stop the run. He's a run stopper. He's a tough, nasty football player.
Will Tukwuafu, as I mentioned, one of the older guys. He had a mission. He came back, and he's one of only 3 seniors on the 44 top players on this football team. So you want to talk about how young they are? Of their top 44 guys, 3 guys are going to be gone next year. That's it. One of them, Will Tukwuafu.
Straight drop to throw. Pressure comes. They're going to get to him. Oh, my, is he dumped hard back on the 12.
It's been the same way since we started the season. We just come to work every day, and whoever shows up on Saturday to play us, then we're ready to go.
And it will be a handoff and caught behind the line and dragged down, and that's speed.
I'm a real firm believer that if you take each day, all the stuff at the end of the season will take care of itself. So that's kind of the mental focus of the team, and where everyone's mindset is at is trying to win each day and work hard in practice and prepare for the week.
And the snap, and a keep by the quarterback, Kane, and he's going to get drilled.
He throws the ball really well. You know, he's one of those freshman guys that can step in and try to get things done. But I think if we able to get pressure on him, flush him a little bit out of the pocket and get him to move around and think a little bit, you know, he's going to have a hard time against us.
Just the tight end, and Walker's going to keep it and get wrapped up back at the 13. Walker just collapsed around him, didn't it?
And Will's doing a great job on campus as well. He's a very successful intern with the Academic Learning Center construction progress and project on campus. So Will's a star intern, star student, and a star player here at the University of Oregon. Well, it's a great atmosphere here at Autzen Stadium tonight. We've got, well, Jesus is here. I think that's Jesus wearing an Oregon headband. Not quite sure what that is right there. Just kind of a scary thing. You know, a little duck outfit there as well. Of course, the obligatory skeleton with a little green hair. It's wild tonight. Look, there's Oscar the Grouch as well.
He's there, isn't he?
He's here as well. Having a good time tonight here at Autzen Stadium. It's going to be wild. The nation's eyes upon Eugene. When we come back, much more to come. Again, we'll talk to Nick Aliotti and what he's been able to do this year with this Oregon defense. They are in the top 15 in most.
So they should be very good at playing that song.
They are very good at playing that. That's all they do. They try to annoy, and it works. They definitely do it. You know, one fact about that band, there are actually professional musicians in that band. It's not like a college band. They actually have some paid members who are not even students at USC.
Then they are good then.
Yeah, they
play very well.
I mean, it's LA, the capital of the world. Anthony, this matchup, I think one of the big things is Oregon's defense. Let's talk about it. What do you think the biggest difference is between last year and this year with this defense?
I think it's the defensive line. I think it's the defensive line making plays up front, stopping the run with 4 down linemen, and also getting pressure on the quarterback. Because I knew the linebackers were going to be good, but the defensive line is a huge surprise.
We know Nick Aliotti has taken a lot of shots over the years because teams have scored a lot of points against Oregon this year. They've been absolutely fantastic. You kind of wonder what's the recipe, but certainly these guys are playing together, and they are being led by Nick Aliotti.
Wideouts, 1 left, 2 to the right. On the snap, back to throw, 3rd and long. Pressure comes, they get to him, down hard at the 33-yard line.
I think that we're just trying to first of all, stop the run, as always. And then when we win if we can win first down, then we're trying to make the quarterbacks have to beat us by putting pressure on them.
Much pressure, throws it downfield, got a man open, it is intercepted! Cliff Harris one up and cut in front and just took that ball out of the air.
I tell you what, the guy is very tough. You have to have a lot of courage and a short-term memory. And I think Cliff has both of those.
4th and 2. Locker snap back, wants to throw, rolls right, looks, throws. It is incomplete, intercepted. It's intercepted in the end zone.
Well, I have a lot of respect for USC as a team and as a coaching staff. We'll just have to see how that goes. Without bragging, I have a lot of confidence in our young men. If we do what we do and we do it harder and faster than USC, then we'll be able to put some pressure on them.
Well, not only keep the pressure, but also score points, which they have done this year. Let's go down to the field. Travis Demers. Travis?
Thanks, guys. Now, the Ducks face their toughest task of the year in a USC team that's ranked in the top 5 in all of the major polls and seems to be able to put up points at will. Over the last 4 weeks, they have increased their point total every week, scoring no fewer than 27 points and averaging just over 33 points. Now, over that same span, over 4 games, the Ducks have only allowed 9.5 points per game, and over the course of the season, they've only allowed more than 20 points per game just twice this year. In the last 4 weeks, they have taken the ball over 11 times from their opponents. Now, the key for the Ducks today sounds really simple. Keep the USC Trojans out of the end zone and keep it close. In the last decade, USC is just 9-11 in games decided by a touchdown or less, and in that same span, they're 4-7 in games where they score 20 points or less. Guys, back to you.
Well, that's a pretty good stat there, I think, especially the close game stat, because they're hardly ever in close games. So they don't have a lot of experience really when they have to get down to a close game. Now, that being said, they lost one of those this year. They've won 2 of those as well, Oregon State and Notre Dame, even though that Notre Dame game, that's just a flip of the coin. That could have gone either way. I think when you look at USC, the one thing you think about, Anthony, automatically is their speed. They have great speed, but I think what Oregon can do this year is match that speed.
I think so too, in all the positions. You talk about the defensive backs and linebackers with the Oregon linebacker speed. I think that's going to be a huge advantage in the running game, that USC is going to try to establish the running game with the linebackers of Oregon. I think it'll be too fast.
Well, some sights and sounds here at Autzen Stadium as the fans are in and in full effect here as they get ready for USC. It's Halloween night. Pretty special night here in Eugene as the Ducks get ready to take on the USC Trojans. Fired up as we get ready for the game, and we got about a minute to go here on our Comcast Sportsnet pregame show. What a scene, Anthony. I think everything that's could be said about this game has been said. It's time to play football.
Well, yeah, it's time to play football. And I brought my Halloween suit. It's a football outfit because maybe I was thinking I can sneak on the field and play a few downs.
I know you'd like to. You and Coach Bellotti are up and going crazy during the game as well. Coach Bellotti will be here, of course.
ABC, home of the 2010 Rose Bowl game and the City BCS National Championship game.
USC's precocious freshman quarterback, Matt Barkley, travels to the Great Northwest for a Halloween celebration. And the never-nervous one, Coach Pete Carroll, is ready for whatever the ghosts and goblins have to offer. The Oregon Ducks are unbeaten in Pac-10 conference play. And one of the loudest crowds in college football is ready for Fright Night.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Before we begin, I should warn you that some of you may find what you are about to hear rather disturbing.
During the last decade, the men of Troy have been treated far more than they've been tricked. But not in Oregon, where they have reason to be afraid, very afraid. There, the Trojans' imperious masks have been removed. 3 straight losses in the northern state for the Legion from L.A. But on this Halloween night, USC brings a charmed young man they call the Chosen One to counter the spell Oregon has cast on his team. Fright Night begins now on Saturday Night Football. looking live in the cavern of Autzen Stadium in Eugene, Oregon, where the Trojans look to overcome their haunted past as they lurk into a BCS battle on Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Southwest Airlines. It is going to be a terrorizing Halloween slash fest as those sinister Oregon Ducks sit alone atop the conference standings. No league losses, threatening USC's title hopes, where a loss would end in another Trojan nightmare. Good evening, everybody. Happy Halloween. I'm Brett Musburger with Kirk Herbstreit. So here comes young Matt Barkley on his white horse trying to slay another dragon on the road.
Well, he is the difference between Matt Barkley right now, what we saw maybe early in the year, is 6 games of experience for a true freshman. I think we're seeing him grow and develop. He's very, very confident coming into this game because of what he's been able to experience, as you see there on the road. And I think the other thing, Brent, is it's changed the SC offense. Early in the year, it was more about the running game and safe, easy throws for Barkley. Now, with Ronald Johnson back as a receiver, they're now attacking downfield more, which is opening up their running game.
And for those of you who haven't seen Chip Kelly's Oregon offense, you're in for a treat.
This is one of my favorite offensive styles that you see in college football. A team that wants to spread you out and then has versatility. First of all, they'll spread you out and they'll run the zone read. Look out for LaMichael James to run the football. If you take James away, Masoli, the quarterback, has the ability to run the football. This is the difference. They can get the ball to the outside. Jeff Mayo can catch the football. The key tonight is right here. Can Masoli get the ball downfield to Ed Dixon and his group of wide receivers to attack an SC defense that in the last 2 weeks has really had some trouble against both Notre Dame and Oregon State in the pass game.
So for USC, they come to Oregon again. Will it be a trick or a treat for the Trojans? We are about to find out. Fright night on Saturday Night Football.
A work of art, a fine. Welcome to the Nissan pregame shift. Nissan, proud partner of the Heisman Trophy. Here now, John Saunders and Jesse Palmer.
Unbeaten teams trying to remain. Defensively has been very uncharacteristic here now the last 2 weeks. They've given up a combined 849 yards to both Oregon State and Notre Dame. They're going to have their hands full with this Oregon offense. Jeremiah Masoli at quarterback and LaMichael James at running back. No one really talks about how good Oregon's defense is. 19 takeaways, tied for first in the conference. Matt Barkley is a true freshman. A lot of people think Autzen Stadium, loudest stadium in the country.
By the way, baseball fans, rain delay in Philadelphia before Game 3 of the World Series. So stay right here and watch some college football. We, of course, will see you at halftime. Right now, let's throw it out to Brent Musburger.
Well, John, the coach on the right, Chip Kelly, has his Oregon Ducks atop the Pac-10, and Pete Carroll, of course, tonight hopes to knock him off that perch and hand the Ducks their first conference loss. Here's a young man you're going to be hearing a lot about. Jeremiah Masoli, number 8. He's the trigger man in this Duck offense. Young man out of Northern California, also played in Honolulu, and of course out to stop him, the All-American safety Taylor Mays of the Trojans. And the Duck leads them out on a Halloween night. That's his normal costume. Doesn't need Halloween to wear that. Showtime in the Great Northwest. USC and Oregon. The Nissan pregame shift.
A work of art, a finely tuned machine, a sanctuary, a command center, a sophisticated sedan, a sports car. Nissan Maxima, the ultimate dual threat. Now get a 2009 Nissan Maxima for 0% APR financing for 60 months. Nissan, proud partner of the Heisman Trophy.
Well, I'm missing all the times we had together. You and me hanging out whenever. Why do we have to have this thing we
Windows stuff goes where you go. New Windows Phone at Verizon.
I'm what you call sans parents.
Oh.
I can go to a movie on a school night. Like that.
In a theater? You should come over to my place. I've got DirecTV. I get all the hottest movies in 1080p. I'm what you call sans cable.
For theater quality, picture and sound on every channel, call 1-800-DIRECTV.
Your number. It's the amount you need to have saved to retire the way you want. And lately, it seems your number is more at risk than ever. ING can help you find ways to protect your number while you work toward it. So your number can be there for you or your family later. Find your number and discover ways you can protect it at ingyournumber.com.
Well, the night of January 7th in Pasadena, two teams will be battling for the Dr. Pepper Coaches Trophy. And speaking of coaches, our colleague Lisa Salters is standing by with Chip Kelly of Oregon. Lisa.
Thanks, Brent. Chip, for people who may not have seen the Ducks since week 1, in what way has your team grown since then?
You know, we played a bad day, and people have the bad days in their life, but it won't be defined by that one game. Our guys are going to go out and just play as hard as they can tonight. We'll see how it goes.
Undefeated in the Pac-10. What did you tell your guys before they came out here in the locker room about what's at stake tonight?
I told them I loved them, and I was excited to see them play tonight.
Thanks and good luck. Brett.
Lisa, Oregon won the toss, but they have deferred, which means that Pete Carroll's offense will handle the ball first, and Rob Beard will kick it off for Oregon with C.J. Gable and Ronald Johnson back deep. That is Johnson off the injured list last week, and the wide receiver with a fine return before the Ducks gang up on him, but he crossed the 30-yard line, and now here comes the freshman from Newport Beach, California, Matt Barkley. You certainly know his story. We were there the night he came through Columbus, but he's also been through Berkeley and South Bend, and he is a road warrior, as Kirk Herbstreit just told you. A lot of folks expect the Trojans to saddle it up and see if they can pound away at Nick Aliota's defense here. Joe McKnight, the tailback, 3 down linemen, and now a late shift by the Duck defense. And McKnight doesn't get much out of that run as Javis Lewis, one of the safeties, up to make the stop, Herbie.
Right now, I think SC comes into this game feeling that Joe McKnight, number 4, and also Alan Bradford, who had a big game last week, have to be the difference makers early on the road, set the tone, get physical with Oregon's front 7, and then that's where Damian Williams on the outside and Ronald Johnson can make big plays off a play-action pass.
McKnight goes out as a receiver. That brings 230-pound Alan Bradford in as the tailback. Play fake. Quick hit to the outside, and McKnight. 3rd down coming up for the Trojans in their opening possession. And in case you haven't heard, Barkley's a little short-handed in the wide receiver spot tonight. 2 who did not make the trip, Trayvon Patterson and David Osbury. And Damian Williams has been slowed this week by a little problem with a muscle up his upper right leg, but he ran yesterday, jogged around, seems to be okay.
But not to mention Anthony McCoy, maybe his top target in the last few weeks, the tight end, also didn't make the trip.
So here is 3rd down and 4. A blitz and a penalty flag.
With Tyron Smith, the right tackle.
Ball start. Offense, number 56. 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
Tukuafu was standing up and started his blitz, and that caused the guard to flinch.
Matt Barkley talked all week about how playing on the road in Columbus and playing on the road in Notre Dame and against Cal, the crowd is not a factor for him when it comes to executing this offense. He's going to get a taste of it here on his first 3rd and long to this SC offense.
Stanley Havili doesn't start either because he's slowed by an injury. Now 3rd and 9, and Barkley gets great time, fires first down over the middle. Ronald Johnson, the junior from Michigan.
Nice job here, protection by the USC offensive line, but watch Ronald Johnson to the left. Does a good job of avoiding contact, and when Johnson avoids the contact there by the nickelback, that's the key in being able to avoid. Once you avoid that, he's able to sit in a hole. Eddie Pleasant was walked out over top of Ronald Johnson, but Johnson worked to the inside and settled right where he needed to, and Matt Barkley locked in on him for the first down.
Shoemate, DJ Shoemate is the fullback in front of McKnight. Now that quick hitch to Damien on the outside. And they pick up 5 here on first down before Lewis makes still another stop. So on 3rd and 9, Herbie, a 15-yard pass as Johnson sat down beautifully in the middle of that zone, and that'll calm the young quarterback down.
And it also has a lot to do with showing you, that's another example of the poise from the quarterback, Matt Barkley. Third and long on the road, dealing with a hostile environment. He and his receiver, Ronald Johnson, in sync early in this game.
2nd down and 4. They cross into Oregon territory. Still 3 down. Show pressure on the right side. And here is McKnight banging across for another USC first down.
And see, this is going to be the challenge tonight for Oregon, matching up with how physical this USC offensive line can be and this running game can be. I think the Trojans feel that nobody's really challenged Oregon up front. And Pete Carroll feels if they can establish the running game, that's when they can go back to the bread and butter, which is the play action, where they can get downfield then with Barkley getting downfield to Johnson and Williams.
Oregon a little undersized in the defensive line. Trojans aware of it. There's the protection. Barkley snaps off another completion to Williams, and Williams has got still another first down. Close to the 25-yard line. Impressive drive.
This is really another nice example of the rhythm and the anticipation from Matt Barkley with his wide receivers. And as I said, this is where the offense has grown. There really aren't any limitations right now with the play calling of Jeremy Bates as an offensive coordinator. They're much more willing to take chances on any down and distance with Barkley, even on the road, as you're seeing here on this first drive.
So Lewis is playing cornerback. Boyette and Ward are the 2 safeties for Aliotti right now. Coming back with McKnight. And he's across the 25 as we check in for the first time tonight with Matt Weiner. Matt?
Hey, Brent, and happy Halloween from New York, where I'll be keeping track of all the tricks and treats from around the country, starting with this primetime pulse.
Game 3 of the World Series in Philadelphia is in rain delay at the moment. ESPN has South Carolina and black-shirted Tennessee right now, and we have you double covered for either USC Oregon or Texas Oklahoma State. In either case, your game is on ABC or ESPN2.
Matt, and as you left, a penalty was called on Blake Ailes, and that'll move the Trojans back for a loss. So it will be 1st and 15. Ailes, one of the tight ends, along with Ellison, trying to replace Anthony McCoy here tonight. And it looks like the Trojans are going to have to burn a timeout. So there is your first timeout burned here as USC faces a 1st and 15 when we come back. Just underway in Eugene.
Bye-bye.
Save on insurance, the more you'll have for football. Drivers who switch their home and auto to Allstate saved an average of $503 a year. Are you in good hands?
Ooh, creamy brulee. In only 3 days at 8/7 Central, they arrive.
We mean no harm.
ABC's V, new series premiere, Tuesday at 8/7 Central on ABC.
College football in high definition is presented by Vizio.
So the ball has been spotted on the 32-yard line here. Opening drive of the game for the Trojans. Well, as we have told you, it has been fright night. The Beavers over in nearby Corvallis, 2006. Then here, Mark Sanchez in that start was upset. And then again in 2008. So the Northwest has not been kind to USC on its last 3 trips. And of course, earlier this season, Pete Carroll and USC upset a little further north up in Seattle by the Huskies of Washington. So the time clock has been reset here during the timeout. First and 15 for Barkley and the Trojans. Joe McKnight, the running back. Play fake to McKnight, buys time, throws in underneath, and that is complete to Brandon Carswell, sophomore from California, his first catch of the night.
A little bit of confusion here, not having McCoy. Watch the 2 tight ends, Ellison, 40, Ailes running into each other. Not having Anthony McCoy, who, as I said earlier in the broadcast, really is starting to warm up to become a target here for this offense and for the quarterback, Matt Barkley. But he's fortunate there that he did have an open man, and he finds Carswell, who's been working very hard in practice to get his chance to get out on the field.
Second and 8. McKnight, gap on the right side, cut back for still another first down. And he barges down to the 10-yard line.
This is a beautiful hole, well designed, a great call by Bates. A little draw here. Shoemate does a good job of sealing it. And right there, the safeties have got to do a good job tonight for Oregon's defense. If they want to stay in this game, they've got to be able to make open field tackles against McKnight and the more powerful Alan Bradford, number 21, when he comes into the game.
He's in the game now, Herbie. Just came off the sideline. Damian Williams goes out to the right. Bradford in behind Shoemate. That's Ailes, 88. Here comes Bradford picking his way for a couple of yards before he's brought down.
Alan Bradford last week had the big game, 147 yards and 2 touchdowns. And, you know, Brett, the last couple of years, I think you and I and everybody else, when the ball gets down inside the 10-yard line, this is when number 13, Stephon Johnson, would come into the game and make his presence be felt in this stable of backs. And Alan Bradford now is kind of taking on more of that role and has to be able to use his vision to find some holes down in this area.
Second down and goal. Quick toss to Williams. He is surrounded and gave up yards. The Ducks were ready for that call. T.J. Ward and Eddie Pleasant surrounding the receiver that time.
And that's the kind of defense that Oregon has been playing in the last 3 or 4 weeks. Not a whole lot of superstars, but a lot of gang tackling. And that time, 4 different green jerseys all over Damian Williams. He had nowhere to go.
Only the second third down that Barkley has faced on this drive. On a 3rd and 9, he had a 15-yard completion. Pump fake, tosses in zone high. Williams incomplete. Tommy Jackson III, the junior from California, with coverage and very well done by number 37.
There's a little bit of a slant and go, and Jackson doesn't buy it for a second. He's right there with Williams. The ball is thrown to the corner. Almost has a chance, but you'll see it right here. Jackson actually gets in there and knocks the ball away, knocks the arm actually away, and Williams does not have a chance there to secure the football.
Jordan Congdon is 8 of 10 kicking field goals for the Trojans. Now it is 9 of 11 on that 28-yarder. So Congdon puts USC up by a field goal. Chip Kelly and Oregon will be coming to bat when we return.
Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. Dr. Pepper. Drink it slow. Doctor's orders. And Merrill Lynch Wealth Management. Learn more at ml.com/help2.
Some of the finest athletic facilities in the country are right here at Oregon. Benefactor, Phil Knight, the man who helped found Nike. And, of course, a very loyal alum who is here tonight, received an honor. And kickoff is fielded by Barner, backup running back. He has a burst. He's returned one for a touchdown this year. Breaks free in a foot race. Needs a block. 25. He is down to the 16-yard line.
Well, Kenyon Barner has that ability. Every single time he touches the football, the freshman has a chance to make something happen. Look at that. It's actually pretty good coverage by USC, but Barner would not be denied, running through 3 or 4 different arm tackles. It almost takes it all the way to the house. What a start for Oregon.
And Will Harris makes a tackle, but a 77-yard return. And Jeremiah Masoli and the Ducks could be in business. They'll open with Masoli alone, and now they bring it back next to him. That read option, Masoli with the first carry, and the Trojans were certainly ready for that. Big Everson Griffin.
Jeremiah Masoli on that first zone read actually misread Everson Griffin, but he is right now playing as well as any quarterback in the country, engineering this spread attack. What Oregon wants to do is spread you out and has the versatility to run the zone read, but also a key tonight will be Masoli's ability to throw the ball.
Michael James is the running back. And he's going to throw that pass. Incomplete. He zipped that one.
Yeah.
Tell you that. And DJ Davis, the junior from Denver, couldn't hang on, and suddenly it is 3rd and 9. So perhaps a little overly excited here as they come on the field after that great return.
Yeah, anytime you see a 112-mile-an-hour fastball on your first throw, he's definitely a little bit excited. He needs, and that's where he's grown probably the most, developing a touch. He has such a quick release and a very, very strong arm. That time he had an open man, just had to take a little bit off of it there.
Gets time, end zone, incomplete, and he had a receiver with a step down there on T.J. Bryant. That was Davis again.
He had time to throw. This is usually where USC, they lead the nation in sacks with 29. He had enough time to throw, and Brent, you said it, he had an open man. Davis got separation that time. He's unable to make the throw. T.J. Bryant on coverage.
Morgan Flint on to attempt to tie it. Remember, they have fake field goals, and the backup quarterback, Nate Costa, is the holder. They will settle for the tie here in the early going after Kenyon Barner's 77-yard kickoff return. The young man from Riverside, California, sets up the field goal.
Sunday.
Back in Eugene with Kirk Herbstreit and Lisa Salters. I'm Brent Musburger. 7:30 to go, and we've traded field goals here in the battle for supremacy in the Pac-10. Oregon unbeaten, ranked 10th in the BCS. There's Masoli on the telephone talking to the coaches upstairs. It would have been Mark Helfrich, who is up in the box, the offensive coordinator. So Beard will kick it away for the second time. Gable and Johnson back deep for the Trojans. Johnson again. 20-yard line. Looking for daylight on the outside right. Very, very well protected over there on that side. Well, they stay in their lanes. And a reminder that, how about this for a Monday night, 8:30 Eastern time. The Atlanta Falcons and the amazing New Orleans Saints. How many of you thought, if you don't live in New Orleans, that they could come back and get it done against Miami? And oh yes, for Trojan fans, he's having a little bit of a breakout year. Dangerous weapon. They use him in spots, use him to return, and he can flat take it to the end zone just like they used to do when he was a Trojan.
You see him last week go up in the air into the corner for that touchdown.
Alan Bradford will open up this series as the tailback. They'll start him off to the left. And he is upended as he tries to get the corner by John Boyette, the redshirt freshman from Napa, California.
John Boyette and Javis Lewis, both safeties after the first series from USC. As that series was progressing, I noticed more and more the safeties inching their way up to support this defense as far as the ball control. USC trying to run the football. These safeties are starting to come up. That's where you start to see USC try to keep them honest by throwing behind the one-on-one matchups on the outside.
Barkley, offensive line gives him great time. But the coverage is there. I mean, all over the pass that time. Presenting young Barkley with a 3rd and 8, and Johnson was the receiver on that sideline.
SC did do a good job of giving him time, but he was late with the throw. He waited and waited. If there's one thing that Matt Barkley still shows you that he's a true freshman, is his willingness to throw the ball into coverage because of his trust in that big, strong arm that he has. Last week against Oregon State, he had 2 interceptions.
Johnson took one right to the face mask. Shaken up just a touch. Off the field. Barkley on 3rd down. Steps up, incomplete. Trying to work back into the middle. Didn't have the big target in 6'5", Anthony McCoy.
Look at Barkley work from his left and then try to come back. He actually wanted interference there. He felt it. His tight end Ellison was held up by his linebacker. He looked at Damian Williams first, but Damian Williams is locked up with Anthony Gilden. Then he came back to the tight end, and by the time he came back to the tight end, nobody open.
So Hartman's punt is fielded by Borner, and down he goes at the 20-yard line. So Barner, who had burned them with a 77-yard kickoff return, is down right here. And Jeremiah Masoli, who was not set clearly on that first series.
Yeah, you and I went to the break there, and I think we saw a quarterback that's really excited to come out here. He knows that this offense, their ability to move the ball against this SC defense is on his shoulders. And, you know, the first play, he may have misread the zone read and the 2 throws. He definitely is excited, overthrew both of his intended targets. Both were open. See if he settles down here in this second series.
Redshirt freshman from Texarkana, Michael James is 21. He's the running back. And a gaping hole in the middle of the Trojan defense. Now, remember, Oregon State able to put a lot of yards on this defense last week. And on that quick tempo, James on a cutback. They like to pick up the tempo. Chip Kelly says, I like this offense to run as fast as I talk, and he can talk fast.
This offense, again, they're going to spread you out, and they want to run the football. The only way you're going to see them really commit to throwing is if you start to commit 7 or 8 guys down inside the box area. That's when they'll start to throw the football.
Now Barner will come in for this rep. Quick hit on the outside, soft on the corner, and they pick up 9 more. So Masoli, first completion of the night. Jameer Holland, the junior from California.
This will be a bit of a cat and mouse game by Pete Carroll with his defense against Chip Kelly and his offense. It's all about how many defenders are in the box, which predicates and determines the call on the field.
Masoli takes it back away from James. Can't gain much. And that's because Casey came up and made the tackle. One thing about this defensive line of the Trojans, they must tackle tonight in space. They know it, and already we have seen Casey here and Griffin earlier do just that. But now they face a 3rd and 1, snap right back, and here comes Masoli for the first down. Close to midfield. They keep the tempo picked up. They keep the pressure on.
And I like it. I think early in this game, you're trying to dictate the tempo, and you're trying to get this USC defense back on its heels. And I think this is a great time by Chip Kelly and Jeremiah Masoli to go with this style of offense.
It's been pretty basic on the read option so far, involving just the 1 running back. And Masoli keeping it all away was too far away from James. There was so much separation. The defense knew what was coming, and Casey with an easy stop on that one. A much more intricate offense, but right now Chip is keeping it very bland.
Masoli pretty fortunate just to hold on to that snap. Disrupted the timing with the zone read. Masoli did all he could just to get back to the line of scrimmage.
bad snaps in this offense can really derail you. And they have had several as the season unfolds. They're there pounding back into the middle off that read option. And of course, it's the defensive ends, Herbie, as you pointed out many a times, that Masoli is watching the containment on the outside before he decides to go inside with his running back. And this time it was James, of course, who'd come back on the field, or to keep it himself and get outside if they start to crash, which is what bothered Washington last week. On the outside, Holt's containment continued to crash, and Masoli would simply take it himself out there. 3rd down and 3. A fake to throw. Masoli steps away from trouble, does a beautiful job. Complete for a 1st down. What a great play by the quarterback. What great footwork by number 8.
Masoli's ability to create tonight will be important, obviously, against this SC defense. They catch him off guard. He breaks contain, but right here, the patience to be able to look downfield, buying enough time. I thought he might run for the 1st down, but eventually he makes the throw. Nice job there by Masoli of buying the time and finding his receiver.
David Paulson, a backup tight end, doesn't get as much acclaim as Ed Dixon, but number 42 can be a tough one. Now another soft corner. He hits it for a 1st down, and they are down to the 15-yard line. D.J. Davis, the junior from Denver, Colorado, has been his go-to man here. Nobody covering him.
Well, they're not walking out the linebacker, Michael Morgan. And as I said, if you're not going to walk your linebacker out, then they're going to have to throw the football. We'll go back and look at that play as a great example of what Jeremiah Masoli's looking at.
Cannot leave a slot man that wide open. Varner comes back in now as the running back. Gives it to him with that play fake, picking up a couple. Take another look at this one, Herbie.
See, going back to the previous play, here is Morgan. If he's not going to walk out and respect the ability to throw this bubble screen, Masoli's going to recognize that and throw it all day. There's nobody out there. So that's Morgan has to, the adjustment Pete Carroll will make is walk his linebacker out to take that away. If he's not going to walk him out, you're going to see him continue to throw it. Once they cover it, then they can run the football.
James, the running back, off the fake. Masoli rolling again, looking for a target downfield. Throws back across the middle, touchdown. Now they're waving it off. Hold on, there's a penalty flag.
It's like a legal man downfield to me, Brent.
We had one official call a score, but there was a penalty flag. There was a lot of scrambling, so it would stand to reason that there was the eligible receiver downfield.
Offense, number 69. 5-yard penalty, replay, 2nd down.
Left tackle, Bo Thran. Broke downfield. Let's watch.
Well, you're going to see that he's able to buy some time here. Notice how USC is trying. Now they're walking out over the receivers. But this is something SC is going to have to be able to stop, and that's the containment of the quarterback. Masoli, by the time he throws it, he's got a receiver about 5 yards downfield.
Not sure they identified the right man.
Looks like Carson York, number 77.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't seem to be Bo on that play. And now keeping it is Masoli. Breaks a tackle. Even though he's not very tall, he is very sturdy. Masoli weighs about 220. Grew up in Daly City, California. Went to San Mateo, California, and then to St. Louis High School, that renowned high school in Honolulu. He's a Samoan youngster. Then he went to City College of San Francisco, led the Rams to a national JC title. He is very sturdy. And here is number 8 coming off. He missed a game because of a knee injury. Going to flare it outside. And James crosses the 5-yard line. And they will have a 1st and goal.
On 3rd and 6 in this offense, throwing this ball out to the flat, the most important thing, throw it in front of your running back so he can catch it in stride. And once James catches it in stride, he's got enough room there to make the defense miss and to be able to pick up a 1st down. A great throw there by Masoli, putting it in front of the Michael James.
Against the Huskies, Masoli twice walked into the end zone on the zone read without anybody touching him. Keeps it again. Touchdown. Same play that he burned the Huskies with. The evening's 1st touchdown. Jeremiah Masoli, number 8. You may not have heard of him, but by the time this game is over, you are going to know about him. Jeremiah Masoli may be the most underrated quarterback in the Pac-10. So the Ducks, 78 yards in 13 plays. Morgan Flint. And if you're Pete Carroll, you're wondering, not another nightmare in Oregon. That can't happen to us. Let's check in on Matt Weiner in New York. Matt.
All right, Brent, let's get a Taco Bell update. First and foremost, Game 3 of the World Series remains in a rain delay. At Vandy, Georgia Tech tied it up on that Josh Nesbitt touchdown one. They've now taken a 21-14 lead in a game that many feel is pivotal, to Texas's chances of making the BCS championship. They lead 3-0 that game either on ABC or ESPN2. And a pair of South Carolina turnovers have led to 2 Tennessee scores. That game's now 21-0.
Paid a price. Leave a little blood on that forearm.
Masoli will make the read right here on number 94. When you make this read, once he comes down, it makes it pretty easy for Masoli to make the read and be able to get up to the next level. The left guard, actually, Carson York, just blows up the linebacker, Malcolm Smith. So once he made the read, Smith stepped up to make the tackle, but York took Smith out of the picture.
Dirk Gable and Johnson ready once again. The third kickoff of the night, getting just a touch shorter. Johnson's got this one on the 12. They try to keep him saddled to that sideline, and he is down at the 28-yard line. Well, there's a new place for you to get the latest on the teams you care about. Fans in Chicago, Boston, Dallas. Log on for local sports news, radio highlights, and updates. Go to ESPNChicago.com, for example. Find out the latest about the Bears. Here for the latest on the Trojans, young Matt Barkley, trailing for the first time tonight, 10-3. He'll have a first down at the 28-yard line. Aliotti sticking with 3 down linemen. Here is McKnight. Shakes off one tackler, but not the second, and gives ground for a 2-yard loss.
Nick Aliotti right now as the defensive coordinator senses the momentum of this game, and he is crowding the line of scrimmage and attacking downhill with his linebackers and his safeties. Joe McKnight had nowhere to go. Now you're going to have to see SC make an adjustment here with their quarterback, Matt Barkley. Going to have to be able to execute on the perimeter with Oregon overcommitting here right now to the line of scrimmage.
Second and 13. Play fake Barkley. A one-hopper.
Makes it tough to execute. Second and 13. One play action. One-on-one matchup. To the wide side of the field. A long throw for Matt Barkley. Just a little bit out of rhythm there as he threw the ball a little bit short because Williams had a step there on Jackson.
Barkley's missed his last 4. Has to reposition his young tight end Ailes here on 3rd and 13. Here comes the pressure. Barkley dropped by Ailes. Ailes had a step that would have been a huge gain. He could not hang on.
What a great read here. The zone pressure. The blitz comes from his right, from the field. He goes right back and he gets the matchup that he wants. Ailes, if he catches this football, he's got a lot of room to run. He was one-on-one with Javis Lewis. The ball's thrown well enough for him to make that catch.
Jacob Hartman, who took over the punting a few games back for the Trojans. Barner is back deep. Remember Barner? And it has waved off. They'll bring it back.
Prior to the snap, timeout. Oregon, their first charge timeout of the half.
So Oregon will burn its first one. USC did earlier in I think we can see Aliotti is such a key man here tonight. He's moving people around, trying to use speed, because he's outgunned from a talent and a weight and a skill situation against the Trojans, but he's moving guys all over.
Well, Nick Aliotti's done such a great job. You think about the injuries that this secondary has sustained throughout the year. Walter Thurman, one of the best cover corners in all the Pac-10. Willie Glasper's been lost. T.J. Ward, one of his safeties, been out for the last 5 games, came back against Washington. Somehow, some way, he's just been moving parts. This wasn't a real experienced defense to begin with when this season started, but you know what they have? They got a little mojo. They've got confidence right now, and coming into this game, as you said, against a more talented USC offense, you wondered how would they match up, and it's very early, but there's Nick Alioti to our right there, and he's done such a masterful job this entire season of mixing and matching when to bring pressure, when to sit back, and there's a look at Walter Thurman, their leader, really the anchor of this secondary. He's lost for the year with the torn ACL. But so far, first quarter, they've done a great job.
So Hartman back to punt again. They just want to get out of the way of this one. The Ducks do. And they will take over at about the 27-yard line. So Jeremiah Masoli, who drove them to that touchdown in the previous series, will bring the offense back out.
You know, it gets hurt. Well, Jeremiah Masoli got hurt against Washington State. He missed a UCLA game. I think last week watching him, first half, he looked a little rusty. He admitted after the game he was about 75 or 80%. The second half, this offense really began to click. It reminded me a lot of Dennis Dixon and the Oregon offense in 2007, the way they were running and throwing and doing anything that they wanted. And early in this football game, and especially in that second drive, boy, oh boy, Masoli finding that groove again.
Jordan Holmes is the center, and there's a penalty flag. False start, and that'll bring up a 1st and 15. When you think about
false start, offense, number 68, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's C.E. Kaiser, the right tackle. When you think about this offense and that man right there, Chip Kelly, he was a head coach at New Hampshire, got a phone call from Mike Bellotti. Mike said, I got a spot open out here on the staff as the offensive coordinator. Would you be interested? He said, I'm not sure, and Bellotti convinced him, come out like a recruiting trip. Come out and take a look at us. The rest is history. He was the youngest assistant on the Oregon staff, and when Bellotti suddenly announced he was going to step away to be the athletic director, well, Chip Kelly kept this entire veteran coaching staff right there with him. And to a man, when you talk to him, they swear about this young man. He's one of the bright young coaches in college football. And it was Chip Kelly who went down to Clemson. He studied at the foot of Rich Rodriguez. That's where he picked up the read option because, as he told us, we ran out of fullbacks in New Hampshire. We couldn't run the Kirk Herbstreit offense.
Yeah.
We just couldn't do that.
Oh, that's great.
So we come to the end of the first quarter. Halloween night, and the Ducks of Oregon are making all the noise.
Let's get down to the nuts and...
Ready to start the second quarter. Young Matt Barkley and the Trojans trailing 10-3 here in Eugene, Oregon. Sellout crowd, 54,000 in Autzen. This is the quietest it's been. 78 yards. Masoli drove them in that last drive, pitching it out here to young James. You cannot say enough about how this Oregon football team regrouped after the nightmare in Boise, Idaho. Did any of us expect after that night that this man could bring this team back together after he lost the football game and then lost his ace running back because of that post-game punch by LeGarrette Blount? 3rd down and 9. And yet here they are, unbeaten since then, sitting atop the Pac-10 at 4-0. Masoli stands right in the pocket and rifles another strike. And the Trojans say they've taken it away. First down, USC. They have indeed.
They already
this
picked
is Jeff Mayo.
Yeah, Mayo already picked up the first down. The ball comes out. Great effort by USC's defense there. Malcolm Smith right in the middle of this, trying to get that ball loose. Josh Pinkard rather, also right there, but it was Smith who turned it loose. The ball's right there. They're fighting for it. Mayo actually has his hands on it, and Will Harris took it away.
So now, Barkley and the Trojans at the Ducks' 44-yard line. They show a power running formation, and they're going to throw out of it. Barkley to the middle, strike to Williams. First down at the 23-yard line for Barkley and the Trojans.
That's exactly what they have to do on 1st and 10. Oregon committing to the run. You're going to get the matchup you want behind it, and right in rhythm. Barkley to Damian Williams. Lewis, the safety, Boyette, the other safety up tight to the line of scrimmage, expecting run. Makes it very easy with good pass protection for the young quarterback to get back and make it a very accurate throw to Damian Williams.
Quick strike to the outside. And again, they were a little bit soft, so they come back to Carswell the second time tonight. Lewis makes the stop.
Carswell's a good story as well. Just a player that's been down as far as you look at the depth chart. You had Ronald Johnson with injuries. David Osbury is out. Damian Williams has been the mainstay, but because of the way Brandon Carswell has worked in practice, Johnny Morton felt that, you know what, you're going to work like that in practice. The way we compete, you've earned the right to get a chance to get out there and play.
Oh, the right tackle flinched. That'll cost him 5 yards.
Dead ball. Ball start. Offense. Number 40.
That was the tight end, Ellison. So let me correct that. They had a wing tight end outside him, lined up with Ellison, Power on the right side, and it was Ellison who flinched. That is the third false start in the teeth of this crowd by USC tonight. So we've got a 2nd and 9 with Oregon unbeaten in the Pac-10, leading USC 10-3. The Ducks drove 78 yards for their only touchdown. Right now, after the turnover on 2nd and 9, Barkley has great time, but this is well short of the first down. Ailes with his first catch of the evening as the Trojans are without tight end Anthony McCoy, wide receivers Trayvon Patterson and David Osbury.
I think McCoy not being in this lineup right now is really affecting this attack from USC. He, along with Williams on one side, Ronald Johnson on the other, McCoy really had not only an ability to make a defense pay for it, paying too much attention to the outside, but also an experience factor that right now is missing.
3rd down and 7. Williams on a quick slant for the first down and goal at the 5-yard line.
Listen, another great throw here by Barkley, but I love the catch by Damian Williams. Ball is thrown well before he makes his break. Good anticipation, but watch the hands. That's exactly how you want to catch a football. Away from your body, using his hands. The savvy Damian Williams with a big catch.
McKnight in behind DJ Shoemate, who has been the fullback so far here tonight. McKnight picks his way to about the 3-yard line before Mean Green pushes him back. Pasinger was in there, and fine weak side linebacker Spencer Pasinger from Los Angeles.
Continue to say that the injury to Stephon Johnson affects this SC offense in this area. You almost feel like they have a better odds at throwing the football when they get inside the 5 and inside the 10-yard line without Stephon Johnson in there.
Second and goal. Shoemate offset for McKnight. They will throw into the corner. Touchdown. So he comes right back, and it's Ronald Johnson. And since returning from injury, Johnson has 2 touchdown catches. One last week against Oregon State, and another here tonight as an Oregon turnover leads to a USC score.
Great job by the quarterback I mean, I got to keep reminding myself he's a true freshman. Just a little bit of a pump fake, just enough to hold the defense and make them settle back, and it allowed Ronald Johnson to get to the outside in the open area for a touchdown.
Condon tacks on the tying point. So Matt Barkley, and there's a little fake Herbie talked about. Just enough time for Johnson to get open. We're tied in Eugene.
You know that other airlines charge up to $20 just for your first bag?
That's ridiculous. That's crazy.
They charge up to $30 for your second bag.
And my kids, too?
Your kids' bags, too. So imagine there's you, your wife, your kids, and you all have bags.
Somebody's not going on this trip.
If you're planning a trip, remember, bags fly free only on Southwest. Save up to $100 or more, maybe a lot more.
Well, how about if I just send my bags on vacation and I'll stay home?
Right?
Okay, if you're thinking about getting a new truck, this is your lucky day. Make that month. But truck month's almost over, and so is your chance to get big savings on our best-selling trucks. Fortunately, luck has nothing to do with getting a heck of a great deal on a brand spanking new Ford Super Duty. Plus, Ford Credit is there to help you with the financing. Lucky you, because we just announced 0% APR for 60 months, plus $1,000 bonus cash or up to $6,000 cash back on an 09 Super Duty. Truck month ends November 2nd, so see your Ford dealer today.
Would you like to go for a ride in that bike?
Okay.
Okay. Whoa, yeah. You see, the terms require you to keep the bike in this predetermined space. If you want to take the bike out, I'm going to have to charge you a penalty.
I can't really ride in this little space.
Well, you can't ride very far.
Even kids know an offer shouldn't come with ridiculous conditions. Why don't banks? We're Ally, a new bank whose no-penalty CD lets you withdraw all your money and bring it anywhere without a fee. It's just the right thing to do.
In only 3 days at 8/7 Central, they arrive.
We are of peace.
And they're on everyone's top 10 list. ABC's V, new series premiere, Tuesday at 8/7 Central on ABC.
Buffalo Wild Wings presents the top 30 plays of the last 30 years. 16 in a late-season battle of undefeated teams. Number 1 ranked Florida State lined up for a game-winning field goal against number 2 ranked Miami.
This could be for a national championship. It's up. Missed it to the right. How close was that, huh?
Follow the top 30 countdown all season long. Brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings.
And wouldn't you know it, they did it all over again the next year. Wide right 2. So see play number 15 revealed next Saturday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. As this time it is the Trojans kicking off short. Embry steps up and brings it back for the Ducks, and this will be good field position. Back to the Trojan score.
Just a little thing here, but watch the pump fake right there by Barkley. Notice how it freezes both defenders out here to the outside, and it allows his receiver to get to the outside and Ronald Johnson. It's a little thing, but in the college game, you don't see a lot of veteran quarterbacks, let alone a true freshman, doing just a little thing like that to buy enough time. Johnson gets to the outside for a touchdown. You might see Peyton Manning do it every single snap in the NFL game, but it's pretty impressive to see Barkley do that.
That was Johnson on the phone for you. Thanks for the props, sir. Thanks. Okay, here comes Masoli. Complete on 1st and 10. And very close to a first down, 2-and-A. The man they call LT, number 80. Just got the first down. Good effort there.
Yep, 2-and-A is a receiver that Chip Kelly feels can really do some good things for this offense. Only had 8 catches coming into this game tonight, but they feel because of his size at 6'5" and his quickness, he can be a great weapon tonight.
Meanwhile, Texas shutting out Oklahoma State. 10-0 is the count there. There on the read is James, and James breaks free. 30, 25, 20, and finally run out of bounds by Taylor Mays. How did he break free? It looked like Michael James was going down, but he can whip you 32 yards, Herbie.
He never stops on the play. He never gives up, and USC's young linebackers in there did not do a good job of wrapping up the quickness and the burst there from the Michael James.
And quickly from the 12-yard line, they come right back with him. Picks his way, seam stop, keep going, another first down. Back-to-back fine runs by Michael James.
You love to see a running back run with such determination. In these last two plays, we're seeing that from James. Again, he's kind of bottled up here, but he does not give up on the play, and he carries Kevin Thomas, the corner, for about 10 yards. They'd say he is a workhorse in practice. Never takes a rep off, always wants to be out there working to become a better player.
And Varner replaces him right now. Check that, it's Crenshaw's first carry, and he is stopped short of the goal line. They go to Andre Crenshaw, the senior, and Gallipo makes the stop for the Trojans, the middle linebacker. There's number 54, battled injuries throughout his Trojan career.
Remember, Jeremiah Masoli also has the ability to keep the ball. He did that for their touchdown.
Off. Smith, the defensive team, making a fine stand down there against Crenshaw again. You wonder if Chip Kelly's going to send James back out for this third down, or he'll stick right here with his personnel. Whatever number 5 is on the wristband, here it comes.
You got a quarterback who has the running ability of a fullback down inside this area.
Touchdown, Oregon. They stick right with Crenshaw. 3 straight runs, and just like that, the Ducks regain the lead here. This is shaping up as a dandy, isn't it? A year ago, we were in Lubbock, Texas, watching one of the games of the year. Texas Tech upsetting Texas. Michael Crabtree's touchdown in the closing seconds. Here tonight, a home underdog. The Oregon Ducks have struck for their second touchdown, and they lead the 5th-ranked team in the nation, USC, by a touchdown.
EC, presented by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. The Ford F-150. Built Ford tough. And Aflac. We've got you under our wing.
Oregon kicking off with a 17-10 lead on USC. 8:39 left here in the first half from Eugene, Oregon. Back to the 5-yard line. Here comes Johnson again. 29-yard line. And Herbie, let's take a look at the Pacific Life game summary. What about the early numbers?
Well, right now, I think it's pretty even, with the exception of Oregon taking that last drive on the back of Michael James, putting up a few more numbers. One thing that does not show up there is SC able to get that turnover and turn it into 7 points to put them at least in position here, only down a touchdown. But Oregon has had their way in this football game, playing very well, especially with Masoli in the offense.
Gets it off to McKnight, who had split out wide. Picks up 7 yards. Let's go to Matt Weiner in New York. Matt.
All right, Brett, time for another Verizon Wireless update. Game 3 of the World Series yet to begin. The Texas offense has, this is Cody Johnson, 10-0 Longhorns. That game on ABC or ESPN2. And Tennessee has taken advantage of 3 South Carolina turnovers, turned each into touchdowns.
So Steve Spurrier and the Gamecocks having a tough night in Tennessee. 2nd down and 3. They shifted the front. McKnight still finds a gap and breaks the daylight. Crosses midfield on that run. for a first down.
Oregon's bringing pressure here, bringing linebackers and safeties, and it's going to be hit or miss when you're going up against an offensive line like this. And in fact, with the vision of McKnight, you can see when you bring everybody up, if you don't stop him at the line of scrimmage, there's nobody back left to stop Joe McKnight. They were very fortunate that time. What a great cutback by Joe McKnight. They were able to slow him down just enough before he took that to the end zone.
DJ Shoemate, the fullback, threw a fine block on that play. Pump fake, coming down deep, wide open, and he overthrew Ailes. Ailes worked on this all afternoon yesterday, trying to get deep down the middle. He's a promising tight end with terrific speed, and he just overthrew him, Barkley did.
Yeah, and it's a broken coverage here. The linebacker should be in position to get back there. Spencer Pasinger, when he goes back to look at the film here, he has to run vertically with the tight end. Ailes got behind him. Good recognition by Barkley. He just missed him, just overthrew it. That's what you got to wonder without having McCoy in there. Just the rhythm and timing of the experience of McCoy, they miss it there.
Alan Bradford on the field. Second down and 10 for the Trojans. Play fake again. Has time, fires sideline throw, and puts it back in Carswell's hands. Right at the mark.
Matt Barkley shows you how he reads the whole field here, Brent. He's looking to his right. Now he's to the tight end. Now he comes all the way back to the left and throws the football very accurately. Look at his eyes. Second, third option, makes a long throw all the way to the other sideline to Carswell.
That was Jackson, the corner, with coverage there. They get the first down. They leave Bradford in as the running back. Steps out behind the right side, breaks the first tackle, and picks up about 3 yards before Boyette can bring him down.
USC trying to maintain balance within their offense here. But really, at this point, they've had to rely more on Barkley throwing the football. 19 attempts, and we're still in the first half. They're trying to throw to get back to setting up the run again because Oregon is taking away the run with the amount of numbers they have up close to the line of scrimmage.
Jeff Byers stays on as center. He replaced Christopher O'Dowd. Long end zone. Incomplete. Johnson the intended target, and that was Talmadge. Jackson the corner, and there is a penalty flag. But it's thrown back by the line of scrimmage.
Looks like they stopped before the ball was even snapped. They were trying to stop it.
False start. Offense, number 71. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Left tackle Charles Brown, and by my unofficial count, that is the 4th false start.
Well, untimely penalties have hurt this offense a lot throughout the 2009 season. Even if he comes up with that play, it's all for naught. Pretty good coverage again by Jackson downfield.
Now the line judge is coming over with the referee. They want to get straight here.
Game clock should be set to 6:23. 6:23.
So they'll wind it down from 6:37.
You know, Brent, Barkley talks about how the pressure doesn't affect him, but what we've seen in the first half, it definitely affects his offensive line.
No question. The big change is Christopher O'Dowd unable to drive block off that knee, so Byers moves over to center. Butch Lewis at guard. Brown, the left tackle. Parsons and Smith have been operating on the right side. Byers, a very experienced veteran offensive lineman, can play a couple of spots for Pat Rule. He's a senior from Fort Collins, Colorado.
Still got clock issues. Get the game clock set and also reset the play clock now.
Chip Kelly is out on the field on the far side, wanted an explanation.
6:23 on the game clock. Start the clock on my whistle.
So you take control out there.
Veteran officiating crew, referee Jack Wood.
and he is one of the good ones in the Pac-10.
This play is under review.
Now, Chip says you got to review that for what? Is it the spot? What's the situation here?
Got to be the clock or the spot, because it was a penalty. It was a penalty on USC.
You know, there was fire over there on that Oregon sideline, and they hate to see it called off like this and settle back down. They had the crowd fired up after that play and the penalty. And Chip Kelly and that gang, they wanted to keep it going.
Remember, the play is, it's a dead ball foul here. So before the ball snaps, so it should be at about 6:37 or so. Maybe that's what they're reviewing.
As a result of review, the game clock should be set to 6:38, and the clock will start on the ready for play.
You're right. That's why Chip Kelly's
no question
so upset. His defense, his stadium, they're alive.
Getting revved up again. McKnight, the Trojan running back. On the toss, Shoemate gets the outside man, but slipping through is Boyette. And the safety, the redshirt freshman from Napa, comes up with another big hit.
Boyette and Lewis are very, very active with this defense right now. And Joe McKnight's got good quickness. You got a big tackle pulling around to try to help out in Charles Brown. But the penetration with the numbers this time by Oregon's defense, SC can't handle them all. And a good effort there by number 20, John Boyette.
Boy, he's a dandy. Redshirt freshman out of Napa. 3rd down and 14. Tries to set the screen with McKnight, and McKnight slips free, and he is run out of bounds short of the first down by Eddie Pleasant, the sophomore linebacker from La Palma. When you take a look at the Oregon lineup, offensively and defensively, against Pete Carroll, you see one of the youngest teams in the Pac-10.
Love the call there, Brent, on 3rd down with the screen to McKnight. Almost picked up the first down with Oregon bringing pressure. Barkley waited just the right amount of time to flip it over the head of the pressure.
5.5 minutes, first half. Trojans with a 4th and short are going. McKnight picks up the first down. He's at the 25-yard line as they convert a 4th and 1.
Good blocks up front. Good push. DJ Shoemate, who's in for Stanley Havili. 4th and 1. Who can get the lowest? See the big fullback right in front of Joe McKnight. The guard pulling around that time, Butch Lewis. A lot of confidence in this big, experienced veteran offensive line with Pete Carroll and Jeremy Bates, the offensive coordinator.
Johnson and Williams back on the field for the Trojans. Carswell is the 3rd receiver in motion. They'll run Bradford. Picking up a couple of yards on 1st down. Actually, he got more than that. He got all of 4 yards, and so it is 2nd and 6.
Carroll ran onto the field trying to get a timeout.
Barkley was attempting to start some motion, and Carroll jogged onto the field, and now Carroll and Bates are going over the play call as USC burns its 2nd timeout.
I figure the engineers who built the Ford F-150 are probably the
way. Both. Enterprise will pick you up and get you going to romantic weekends. Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Television's most talked about new drama, ABC's Flash Forward, all new Thursday.
This is the Aflac Ducks' favorite venue. All right, Herbie, here we go now. 5 of the last 6 Heisman Trophy winners played for the BCS National Championship in the same season. Which Heisman Trophy winner did not? 6 years. Tick, tick, tick. Clock is moving. Here we go. 2nd down and 6 now for Barkley and the Trojans. Play fake, penalty flag.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. Number 56. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Okay, time's up, Herbie. You got a guess?
Oh, man, I was going to say, I don't know. Jason White?
Here it is, lad. Jason played in the championship game, but here's the one who did not.
Oh,
Tim
yeah.
Tebow.
That's right. That's right.
Oklahoma and LSU in the championship.
His best individual year, the Gators were in kind of a rebuilding year after winning the national title in 06.
2nd down and 11. Play fake, Bradford looking. A beautiful throw. He had to wait for his receiver to get open. And he did a great job with Damian Williams over there. Barkley had time, and he was just waiting for him to break on him.
They got a flag down, Brent, on the other side of the field towards the Oregon side of the field, and it came in a little bit late. About Barkley on that throw. Holding on, holding on, holding on. Brandon Bears coming in on him. He gets it off.
Personal foul. Face mask on the defense. Penalty is declined. Offense elects to take the result of the play. 1st down.
What I love to see here from a young quarterback is his patience, presence in the pocket, waiting for his man to finally break free, and waited to just the last second before he gets the ball off, before Brandon Bear lowers the boom on him. Boy, it's tough to stay in rhythm for a young quarterback, any quarterback, when you're waiting that long.
1st and goal, and the Trojans will bring McKnight back into the backfield. They'll let him run to the left. Hard run to the 5-yard line, and it'll be 2nd down and goal for the Trojans. Starting to be a little bit of duck weather, too. A few raindrops being reported down there.
Gotta keep the duck head on, right? Can't take it out.
Yeah, never take that duck head. And McKnight is limping off. Wow. So that puts Bradford back in this spot. It's 2nd down and goal. Barkley rolling, throws to Williams, sheds a tackler, touchdown USC. Fine move by number 18, Damian Williams from Springdale, Arkansas, the transfer from the Razorbacks. And Barkley has another touchdown throw.
They're really starting to throw down in that area, but I love this effort here by Damian Williams, their most gifted wide receiver. Not only the catch, then he stops on a dime, feels the goal line there, and cuts back. But that is tough to do when you're running full speed. Make that quick stop and then accelerate there into the end zone.
Tied again at 17. Damian Williams, his 4th touchdown catch of the season. Matt Barkley, his 2nd of the night. And the drama continues in Eugene. Ducks are back now, scored and tied at 17. We've got 3:17 left here in the first half. He'll take the knee and bring it out to 20, and we will go to Matt Weiner in New York for that day. Matt?
Brent, as you know, many believe Oklahoma State is the only significant test standing between Texas and the national championship game, but don't pencil the Longhorns in just yet. Oklahoma State goes on an 84-yard touchdown drive. Bo Johnson cashed in, so a 10-point game there. Notre Dame is playing in San Antonio at the home game today against Washington State. They're up 23 at the half.
Trying to recruit a little bit down there deep in the heart of Texas. The Irish go down into San Antonio to play that game, and do not count them out of the BCS picture. If they put it in overdrive, they are right in the mix. 3:17, 1st and 10. Masoli has time. Receivers covered, and there he takes off. And does he burn the Trojan D? Looked like he was going out of bounds, and he just kept coming for more, all the way to the 31-yard line as the rain starts to come down. 49 yards on the run.
Masoli knew coming into this game his ability to create when things were covered would be a key tonight. Good job of showing patience. He waits for things to open up, and then you can see that gives you an idea what kind of burst he has when he gets out into the open field. He's not looking to run and get out of bounds.
Here's the handoff to his running back, James. So let's take a look here, Herbie. We have talked about the yards the Trojans are starting to surrender, and it's pretty stark when you look at this graphic that you had put together.
Well, the first 5 games, it looked like, how does Pete Carroll do it? He loses 8 or 9 guys to the NFL, but look at the last 2 games. Boy, oh boy, and not only that, 614 yards allowed through the air in the last 2 games to Notre Dame and Oregon State with 5 touchdowns and no interceptions.
And already tonight, they have given up a total of 211 yards, 136 on the ground. Masoli's got more. Fakes that late pick into the red zone and knocked out of bounds. Taylor Mays, he's had to make the last 2 tackles.
It's a great read. He comes off of 79's block right there. Mark Asper, and he reads it right away. His quickness and the fact that he didn't hesitate to carry the ball allowed him to outrun Shane Horton, the linebacker, and be able to get to the edge and pick up the first down.
Horton is there because Malcolm Smith went to the locker room with an injury. So they're without, the Trojans are, without one of their starting outside linebackers. Rain coming down just a little bit harder now. Play fake by Masoli. Looking down middle. Touchdown. Back of the end zone. And the Ducks regain the lead on a fine scoring strike to Jameer Holland. 17 yards on the score. What Chip Kelly looks for is a quarterback who can run. In other words, he's got to be a young man who can throw, and throw he did right there. Not happy. Flynn tacks up the point. Fright night continues in Eugene. Ducks lead.
National titles.
1,694 individual titles.
15 straight Directors' Cups. 43 of the last 49 years of being on top.
Dominance is when being the best in the West means you're simply the best.
Terrific moment for number 19, Jameer Holland. At one time, he was arguably USC's fastest wide receiver. And he transferred up here to Oregon, redshirted during the 06 season, broke his collarbone in fall camp, but recovered. He ran track for USC the year he was down there, and now here tonight, he has the touchdown that has put them ahead. And Ronald Johnson is down. So let's go back to the transfer from USC.
Well-designed play. Embry is right here. He's going to get to the inside. And here is Holland, who works right behind him. What's interesting here is a great read by Masoli. He's going to look right here at the All-American Taylor Mays. When Mays comes up on Embry, it makes it very easy to throw it right behind him. But Masoli showing he's not just a quarterback that has the ability to run this offense and run the ball. As you saw right there, my man can throw the football.
He's 7 of 9 throwing tonight for 93 yards and that touchdown. Here comes the blitz. And they get to him. Barkley is sacked on the blitz. Eddie Pleasant.
Great job of disguising the pressure. Nick Aliotti's been doing it the entire first half, and this time it finally frees Eddie Pleasant. This sophomore gets in there untouched. Matt Barkley couldn't do anything with the football.
Number 45, Terrell Turner, was also coming on that play. So there's Jeremiah. A 17-yard touchdown pass caps off another long drive. Second down and 15. Here's McKnight, left side. Got a couple, and Chip Kelly's trying to help the official down there.
He got out of bounds is what he's yelling. He's thinking about getting the ball back. 2 timeouts left. Joe McKnight, by going out of bounds, allows Chip Kelly to save a timeout. And if USC doesn't pick up a first down here, Kelly still has the timeouts to work with and an offense right now that is in rhythm, and he's thinking about trying to get more points before the half.
So here it is, that 3rd and 13. Bryce Butler, one of the wide receivers against Kelly's Ducks. Content to run the ball against the clock. McKnight is down, still 48 seconds left.
Before Joe McKnight even fell to the ground, Chip Kelly out on the field yelling for his timeout. By Joe McKnight not getting out of bounds on 2nd down, it allows Oregon to get the ball back and still has a one timeout remaining.
Remember last week in Seattle, Ducks blocked a punt and scored a touchdown. That is the 3rd USC 3-and-out against Aliotto's quick striking defense. Jacob Harfman, the junior from Chino, number 48, will be back to punt for Pete Carroll.
Well, this game's going back and forth. What a ball game here in the first half alone.
Barner, who's returned to kickoff 77 yards tonight, is back deep. They want the return. Barner from the 31, and he is down at the 30-yard line. And we want to remind everybody the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup continues tomorrow with the Amp Energy 500 at Talladega. Coverage begins at noon Eastern on ABC with the NASCAR countdown. So Jimmy Johnson closing in on a remarkable 4-peat. Rain interrupted the practice running. Johnson will be on the pole at Talladega tomorrow. Masoli, with about 30 seconds left, scrambles and throws it away to stop the clock at 32 ticks.
You want to be aggressive here if you're Masoli and Chip Kelly. There's Everson Griffin limping off here. To keep a close eye on that.
The injury list is really mounting.
Stacking up.
Smith went to the locker room.
Coming into the game, it was already mounting for USC. He's there. Oh, he just right off the initial burst there, off the line of scrimmage. But what I was saying about Masoli, as much as they want to be aggressive with 30 seconds, 1 timeout, you still have to be careful.
Second down and 10. Breaks contain, incomplete. Threw a little bit behind his target that time. So 25 seconds left on a 3rd and 10.
Still have a 7-point lead.
There's Griffin. Looks like he's having a tape job over there on the left ankle. Intent to run.
Pete Carroll's going to use his last time out.
Now, what Pete Carroll's talking about is whether he wants to go after and try to block this punt. 18 seconds left. And Griffin limping back toward the Trojan locker room. If they don't get there and they rough the punter, they would give Oregon a first down with, let's say, about 12 seconds left. It would take about 6-7 seconds. Right now, this is Oregon's first punt of the night. Jackson Rice, he's a freshman. He's had some good games and some bad games. As a freshman punter, we are told they do put McKnight back. Gets it off, and it takes a duck hop inside the 10-yard line. That's a 54-yard good hop punt.
Matt Barkley, 22 attempts in the first half. He probably is going to end up throwing maybe up to 50 passes in this game against this attacking Oregon defense before this one's all over.
He elects not to throw number 23 there. And there's the hustling radio announcer. Catch it up. And Kelly, let's go down to Lisa, who's on the other side with Coach Carroll.
Thanks, Brent. Pete, it seems like you're having trouble containing their quarterback. What can you do to slow down Jeremiah Masoli?
Well, he's doing most of this stuff on broken play stuff. His damage, you know, he's scrambling around, changing his tempo a little bit. It's not really basic stuff, so we got to track him down better. You know, he just scrambled for 50 right there. So we got to make sure we keep our eyes on him. We're going to have to take care of him after the normal play. 24 points they put up on the board in this half. We're not used to seeing that. What do you think when you see that? I don't like it one bit, Lisa. I don't like it one bit. We got to make sure that we can keep going on our end, on the offensive end, to stay with this thing until we slow him down. All right, thank you.
So an entertaining first half in Eugene, Oregon. The Ducks unbeaten in We welcome you back to Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Southwest Airlines. And Herbie, our playbook would certainly show a lot of number 8, Jeremiah Masoli.
Well, what a great half for both these quarterbacks. Matt Barkley has thrown the football quite a bit, got into rhythm early, 22 attempts. Damian Williams helping him out here, but Matt Barkley's been a big part of the offense. And Jeremiah Masoli has been early and often for number 8, running, throwing, scrambling, doing it all for the Ducks to give them this 7-point lead as we get ready for the second half.
And the Ducks, remember, deferred, so they will handle the ball first here in the second half. Ball on the tee for Jacob Hartman. And Barner will take a knee in the end zone, and it'll come out on the 20-yard line. So here we are. The weather has changed a little bit. We see that some of the rain gear is out when it started to fall. And you notice they're getting a little chilly up in here now.
It is.
This is not Trojan weather here in the second half.
We're going to keep an eye on Everson Griffin, too, who was injured. He came back out at halftime, tried to work on his start to see if he might be able to go in the second half. But Jeremiah Masoli, how does he handle the conditions? How does he handle working with a lead? And Chip Kelly's got to continue, which he will, continue to fight, continue to attack, and not try to preserve a lead throughout this second half.
James is the running back. Play fake to him, and Masoli's going to open up with a pass. Middle's open, got it complete, first down. So the first play of the second half, and Masoli goes to Ed Dixon, the very talented tight end who makes his first catch of the night to open up the second half.
And that's a great call there with play action off the zone read. Gallipo and the rest of the linebackers froze just for a second, and it gave Dixon enough room to get right behind him. And again, Masoli proving to people again tonight that he can throw the football.
He's 8 of 12 for over 100 yards already. Turns all the way around. Got a man open. Complete again for another first down. Back-to-back strikes, and there's 2-A. Let's check it down below with Lisa.
Well, guys, Chip Kelly very pleased about the performance of his team in that first half. He said, that's how we are. We play hard, we play fast, and we finish. I said, you know they're going to be looking to contain Jeremiah Masoli. And he said, hey, we do what we do. They've got to stop us.
And here they come with that fast tempo, fast rhythm, under pressure. Throws it away. Good decision by Masoli that time.
Yeah, absolutely. Good recognition of the blitz coming through. Nobody's there to pick up Gallipo, who came right through. Once you get through like that, and not only throwing it away, but at least throwing it towards his intended receiver, 2-A, who's off to the outside there. But Gallipo, nice job at timing up the blitz perfectly to be able to get through the offensive line up front.
2nd and 10. Now they come with both running backs. The first time they've shown that formation here tonight, and James, the ball carrier, picks up 7 yards before Taylor Mays brings him down.
One thing we didn't talk about at all in the first half was Chip Kelly's offense. It's so much about running and throwing, but also multiple formations of personnel groupings.
There's that quick tempo, throwing a little bit high and incomplete as Jeff Mayle had flared to the right.
Chip Kelly does such a good job of keeping defenses off balance because he mixes up his looks, and he gives the defense so much to look at that it confuses him and slows him down, yet they're running the same plays just from multiple looks. That time, Masoli, in the hurry-up offense, actually hurried up his throw and his delivery, and the ball sailed on him.
Now, this is 4th down with Big Everson Griffin back out on the field. This is 4th and 3, and they're going. They throw a bubble screen for a first down. DJ Davis, the receiver, the linesman marking it, and if the yellow line is on target, they'll move the chains for another first down.
And this is where they can attack in different areas. The timing of this play is so important. You can see right there, Casey does a good job of chasing the play from the backside, but he actually pushed Davis forward and across the first down marker, at least it appears from up here.
Now they're going to bring the chains completely across, and it does appear to be a first down from up here. But we should point out of this remodeled Autzen Stadium, a little bit higher than we used to be in the broadcast booth. We used to come up here and cover Dan Fouts games. Has it been that long ago when Foutsy was lighting up secondaries?
You were here breaking down Dan Fouts.
Dan Fouts, Bobby Moore, and those guys. And, of course, Dan Fouts received an honor this week. 2009 Davy O'Brien Legends Award recipient. And fellas like Fouts put the show on the road up here in Eugene. And this is one of the great stops now along the college football trail.
Oh, it's great.
Did you have a good crowd at 5 o'clock in the morning?
What were you doing at 5 in the morning when we were all there?
I had a cup of coffee watching you.
Yeah, I bet.
First down and 10 now.
Comes the blitz off the corner.
And the line judge
got movement
and the referee. We got movement here.
Yeah, I think they were
dead ball. False start. Offense number 81. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
KAI. As we take a look at the Pacific Life game summary and what jumps out here.
Well, the two quarterbacks have had to carry the load right now. And I know at the bottom, you love that one. Knocked down. Every week, we like to see which quarterbacks can withstand the pressure.
And here's Masoli looking downfield. Receivers are covered this time, and he will throw it away.
It's one of the first times that we've seen USC's defense have great coverage and not allow Masoli room to wiggle, room to run. So Pete Carroll that time, and remember, Pete Carroll has built a reputation on second-half adjustments, yet in the last couple games, that's not been the case against Notre Dame and Oregon State, where they had big leads in the fourth quarter, and they've had to hold on for dear life. Let's see if they do a better job tonight of their adjustments.
Second down and 15. In underneath, first down. Came back on second and 15, hit Jeff Mayle, the junior from California, for the first down, and the chains move.
Now this is a gutsy throw right here by Masoli, who's using his eyes the entire time to bait the USC defense to the outside, knowing that he had Mayle working back to the inside. It's a risky throw, but Masoli timed it up well.
Play fake by Masoli, back down the middle, almost 6. Mayle couldn't quite hang on as he crossed the goal line. Kevin Thomas, the corner, with coverage number 15.
So many slow developing pass plays. This time it is a quick hitter, and if Kevin Thomas doesn't get back there to defend it, Mayle did a good job of sneaking behind the linebackers, and again, an area that's been a trouble spot, the linebackers trying to cover the seam route.
Second and 10. Masoli checks over to the sideline with Kelly. Adjusts the formation. So they have driven 58 yards, and this is an option look. Late pitch. James coming down the sideline. There's a penalty flag. After James was bounced out of bounds, the penalty flag came flying on that far side.
Gotten Mayle possibly on a holding call. He looked like he was doing a good job of
holding. Offense number 23. 10-yard penalty. Replay. Second down.
Brent, he was doing a good job of sustaining his block, but at the top right portion here, he locks on as James is coming down trying to pick up that first down. He was on him for so long that at the tail end of that block, Mayle ends up grabbing a hold of Thomas for the hold.
That is Scott Frost. Remember him when he was the Nebraska quarterback? He's a wide receiver coach here at Oregon. They're alongside the receiver on second down and 13. Out of the pistol, the handoff to James, breaks that first tackle, battles his way inside the red zone. What a tough running back he is.
I had Craig James text me in the first half. Of course, he loves running backs. Watching James run tonight reminds him of watching Jacquizz Rodgers run from Oregon State, an undersized back that has given USC's defense fits both last year and this year. He's about 5'9", 185 pounds, low center of gravity, but a very determined football player.
On 3rd and 6, play fake Masoli. Comes back, incomplete. Now field goal time for the Ducks, leaded by a touchdown here. This will put them on a 10 out of 10 if they can make it. So trotting out is Morgan Flint. Remember, with special teams and Coach Chip Kelly, you've always got to be ready for a fake. This is 4th down and 6. Nate Costa, the backup quarterback, is the holder. And in practice the other day, they must have rehearsed a half dozen different fakes. A 35-yarder coming up. Wants it on the 10. He's got it.
Before you ever love it, the Nissan Altima goes through over 5,000 tests. No wonder J.D. Power and Associates ranked it highest in initial quality. The new Nissan Altima, quality you can love.
Jimmy here. Hey, what's wrong with your old
Apple Jam box. It doesn't have Bud Light inside. Introducing the Bud Light speaker box. Simply plug in your MP3 player and... Uh-oh, I hear a party.
My tailgate party rocks, thanks to Speaker Box.
Keep on dancing, football fan. Tailgate approved.
Hey, Ham, what do you think the fine is for streaking?
Oh, I don't know, like $300-400? Why?
You stink!
Sorry.
The more you save on insurance, the more you'll have for football. Are you in good hands?
Expect no mercy. Bring it on, big boy.
ABC Comedy Wednesday. The #1 new comedy is all new.
Home run!
And taking family competition
I just don't want to fight a girl.
Because men are always so superior.
to a whole new level.
My sister and I were called Fire and Nice.
Wow, you did it. You made figure skating sound even gayer.
ABC's Modern Family. All new Wednesday, 9/8 Central. Laugh with all of America on ABC Comedy Wednesday.
College football in high definition is presented by Vizio.
Ball is on the tee in Eugene for Rob Beard, who is the kickoff specialist for the Ducks. Curtis McNeil, one of the deep men, runs up to the 20-yard line, and he's got it. And he's down at the 32-yard line. So a reminder, the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup continues tomorrow from one of our favorite tracks, Talladega in Alabama. 12 Eastern it'll get started, and of course the man everyone's chasing now, there is Jimmy Johnson, looking for a four-peat. He will sit on the pole tomorrow, and if you like that high banked oval coming out of there, can't miss Talladega. Alan Bradford in as the running back for Matt Barkley. Trojans down by 10 early here in the third quarter. Bradford pounds and doesn't get much out of the run. Look at the gang tackling by Aliotti and the Ducks.
Yeah, the gang tackling was there in the first half against the run. USC not able to do a whole lot on the ground, only 57 yards in the first half, and Matt Barkley is going to have to throw this football. Nick Aliotti, the defensive coordinator from Oregon, making it pretty clear. They don't have a lot of superstars, so they're going to crowd that line of scrimmage and gang tackle against the run and see if Barkley and his receivers can execute in the pass game.
Damian Williams, number 18, out to the left. In the corner, there's a penalty.
Little flinch off the right side there, self-destructing again.
Dead ball, false start. Offense number 56. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
That is the 6th false start by the Trojans here, and this veteran offensive line, and Pete Carroll probably can't believe it.
Again, Matt Barkley, you're right. The crowd's not affecting his play, but without question, it's affecting that offensive line as they're they're jumping up there because they're not so sure of when the ball's being snapped and when that defense is moving.
That was the offensive line coach, Pat Rule. Here's McKnight, picks his daylight. Fine run for 8 yards. Marvin Johnson, one of the defensive backs for the Ducks.
You know, you go back to the original game plan for USC, and that was to allow their running backs to become a force in this game. They didn't really feel that anybody has been able to attack Oregon's undersized defensive line all year, and they felt with a big veteran offensive line, they're going to try to get physical. Nick Aliotti obviously knew that, and that's why they've countered by putting a lot of people up front towards that line of scrimmage.
Power formation on 3rd and 2 for the Trojans. McKnight got the first down. Breaks a tackle, crosses midfield. 40, pushed out of bounds at the 34-yard line by Talmadge Jackson as McKnight breaks a tackle at the point of attack.
It's a power play. The left guard, Lewis, leads his way around. DJ Shoemate picks up a good block. And how about the patience that time by Joe McKnight? We saw that from Michael James from Oregon in the first half, kind of figuring out his hole and eventually slithering through. And when you put so many guys at that line of scrimmage, if he breaks through that initial surge, he's got a lot of room to run.
McKnight has rushed 13 times for 87 yards. quick strike to the outside. Here's Johnson in a foot race. And he picks up close to 10 yards. Let's see where they finally spot it.
The accuracy that time from Matt Barkley on a quick little look pass like that is so important, just to give your athlete on the outside a chance to make a play. Don't just throw it out there. But when you have one-on-one coverage, you're going to have to throw on 1st and 10 with that commitment by Oregon up to the line of scrimmage. Good play call by Jeremy Bates and well executed there by the true freshman Matt Barkley.
And the spot gives him a first down. So back-to-back first downs on this drive for the Trojans. Ailes in motion. Barkley has time, high, incomplete. He flared the fullback, DJ Shumate, who is filled in here tonight for Stanley Havili. The injury list is long for the Trojans. Without Anthony McCoy, without Trayvon Patterson, without David Osbury. None made the trip. Stanley Havili's here has not played. Christopher O'Dowd, the starting center, having some problems with that knee, and he has not played in that offensive line as Jeff Byers continues to anchor it. He's the center. Second and 10. They come right back with the big running back for a couple more yards here.
Now, those injuries, especially to the fullback and the tight end, in my opinion, are affecting this offense. And Matt Barkley, Stanley Havili is one of the best pass-catching tight end type wide receivers that you're going to see not only in the Pac-10 but in the country. And this is a style of offense that throws the football to the fullback and to the tight end more than any offense in the country. And you take McCoy and Havili out of the mix, definitely affects the continuity.
3rd and 8. Damian Williams down at the bottom of your screen. Barkley goes up the other. Incomplete. He used Brandon Carswell as the target, and he was covered by Jackson, and it'll be a 4th down and 8, trailing by 10. They will bring on the field goal unit.
And Eddie Pleasant that time came free on a blitz. Nobody picked him up. You can see as Barkley threw the football, he was actually falling back. And when you have a quarterback falling back, it's going to affect his accuracy. And he led Carswell a little bit too much, and that's because of the blitz that time from number 11, Pleasant.
Condon. He's hit a 28-yarder today. This a 39-yarder. Got it. So he's 2 for 2 tonight. 10 of 12 for the season. And the Trojans back within a touchdown.
A work of art. A finely tuned machine.
Championship. The game would go into an unprecedented second overtime, where Ohio State's power O call on 2nd down led to this Maurice Clarett 5-yard touchdown run, which proved to be the difference in the Buckeyes' 31-24 upset win. Ohio State had nearly lost the game in the first overtime when this controversial pass interference call on 4th down saved their drive. Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. Nissan Maxima, proud partner of the Heisman Trophy. And Bud Light, with the just right taste that's not too heavy, not too light. The difference is drinkability.
Those pumpkins were carved by the students, Herbie at North Eugene High. They had 16 of them done for a little Halloween presentation. And boy, what a leg Jacob Hartman's got. This will come out of the 20. Let's go to New York and Matt Weiner. Matt.
All right, Brent, time for a check of the prime time pulse. Right now on ESPN, a South Carolina touchdown pass from Stephen Garcia has closed the gap against Tennessee, 28-13 there. And again, the USC-Oregon game, as well as Texas-Oklahoma State, are either on ABC or ESPN2. Texas is all over the Cowboys.
And Matt, that means that Texas may jump Alabama and wind up number 2 because Alabama's idle this week. And the voters may be very impressed by what the Longhorns are doing in Stillwater. And Herbie will await that. And now it is 1st and 10 here for Masoli and the Ducks off that play fake. Now he's got a wide open alley. 35. Steps out of bounds at about the 45-yard line.
That's exactly what Pete Carroll's primary concern was coming into this game. He even mentioned to Lisa Salters walking off. He said, hey, we're covering a lot of their stuff, but we have to stop Masoli's ability to create on broken plays. In fact, Dennis Dixon did the same thing to SC in 2007 in this very game.
We have 2 100-yard rushers right now for the Oregon Ducks. Masoli just went over it, and now he picks up 10 more yards with his wide out 2-and-A. And of course, earlier James had rushed for 100 yards, and we have a penalty flag thrown on the near side, near midfield on this play.
Offside. Defense. Number 36. Penalty is declined. Result of the play is a first down.
Pinkard was coming on a blitz and got there to the line of scrimmage a little bit too quickly.
Brent, you and I travel all over the country, talk to great defensive minds all over the country. One of the best is Pete Carroll. The number one thing that they fear is a quarterback that can not only run and throw, but has an ability to create when things break down. There just isn't anything you can call to be able to stop a guy like Jeremiah Masoli when he does that.
Here's James again. Remember, he's over 100 too, and he picks up at least 9 on that carry before Harris can bring him down.
Boy, he runs with such confidence, that time setting up his blocks as he's actually accelerating forward. His lateral quickness set up a good block that time by a big lineman to take away the linebacker, Chris Gallipo.
Whether or not Oregon wins this game, the one thing you've got to say about this team, they have never allowed USC to be comfortable, either offensively or defensively. They have kept them on the edge here tonight. Now, that doesn't mean USC is not going to pull this game out, because they got plenty of talent and firepower. Another first down.
Well, their versatility keeps you on your heels. How about James as he's going forward? He just sets up that block, and it makes it pretty easy for Carson York, who waits for the linebacker to get in there. See, it looks like Gallipo has a chance. Boom, he set it up perfectly. York makes the block, and downfield goes James.
Ball is spotted across the 35-yard line here for the Ducks, and there's Lamichael with 109, and Masoli has rushed for 101. Masoli has thrown for a touchdown and rushed for a second one here tonight. Handing off again to James, and James another 9 yards.
The versatility, the different looks, different formations, different personnel groupings. USC has not been able to be aggressive at all tonight. They're thinking too much, and Oregon is attacking with Chip Kelly's offense. They run the ball in the middle. If you commit too many people down to the middle, they throw a quick pass to the outside. If you come up to take away a quick pass, they find a seam route to a tight end or Jeff Mayo behind you.
Second down and 1. A little bit of that pistol look, a little bit more offset. There's the first down. That Herbie was too easy to Jeff Mayo, who was wide open. And Mayo crosses into the red zone.
Again, if you're going to take away the running game, you start to cheat down right there. Look at the recognition. Very simple. If a quarterback is going to, in this offense, is going to see a safety commit down to stop the running game, even though the running play is called, he's just going to pull off of that and throw a quick little pass to the outside.
You can see how effective this offense has been in the red zone. And whistle.
Prior to the snap, timeout, Oregon.
That's their
first charge timeout of the half.
There's coach over there with Jeff Mayo. I'm going to tell you how he operates practices a little differently when we come back.
At these prices, you can sail in every day. Live adventurous. Go Outback.
Courtney Cox and the new smash hit, Cougar Town, all new ABC Comedy Wednesday.
Normally the day before a game, coaches have a walkthrough, not Oregon. Chip Kelly heard from the Olympic group and said you want your athletes practicing full speed the day before they compete. A full-bore workout in here on Friday. Their walkthrough was on Thursday. He just does things a little bit differently. And during much of the practice, the USC fight song came blaring over the loudspeakers. Then Lee Corso's voice, not so fast, my friend. And suddenly, mighty Oregon broke out. So it is very different when you come up here and watch what Chip Kelly has done. And we've got a flag at the sideline. And Herbie, you've got to be impressed in watching this team.
He's got him believing in his system,
Dead ball. False start. Offense, number 69. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
The thing I found interesting, he said, you know, we practice hard on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and they practice in the morning. One of the few schools
all practices
in the whole, all week. 9 to 11. They're off the field at 11 a.m. Send everybody to class, come back to look at film after class. I haven't heard of that anywhere in the country. But they really get after it, like you said, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and come back on Friday.
There's a handoff to young James. James breaks free again. James is inside the 10. It's a first and goal for the Ducks.
He's just going to follow his left guard, Carson York, around and just kind of pick up yards. And he has such great lateral quickness and great vision along with a burst that he fits perfectly into this offense with Jeremiah Masoli.
Coming right back for an easy touchdown. A walk-in 6. And look how he hands the ball to the official. No danger there of picking up the penalty. Celebrates with his teammates.
USC's defense is lost and confused right now.
And the Rose Bowl committee has to be very impressed with what they're seeing here tonight. 7 straight Pac-10 titles for USC, and under the gun here in Eugene. Flint tacks on the extra point.
That's the same play this time, coming back the other way. He's going to follow his right guard, Mark Asper, around. Nobody is there. They attack you in so many different ways. It's so hard for Taylor Mays and this group to get a key on. Is it a run? Is it a pass? Are they going to run with James? Are they going to run with Masoli?
Let's go down to Lisa with the LeGarrette Blount story. Lisa?
That's right, Brent. Remember, LaMichael James is replacing LeGarrette Blount. There's a possibility that LeGarrette Blount could be reinstated this week and could be eligible to play for the Ducks next weekend. The Pac-10 Commissioner, Larry Scott, is at this game tonight, and he told me that he will meet with Chip Kelly, he will meet with LeGarrette Blount, and he will meet with university officials to review the case. Now, as for Chip Kelly's guidelines, LeGarrette Blount has been attending practices for the scout team, participating with the scout team. He's been going to class, and according to all of his coaches, he's been a model citizen since that incident back in week 1.
You know, Lisa, I can't help but pull for the young man. Come back, save his career, play again. I'm on his side. Going to class, coming to practice. Herbie, I think you agree. I'll ask you about this right after this kickoff return from the 20-yard line by McNeil, and he is smacked. Let's go back to LeGarrette.
I think the greatest thing that happened out of that whole thing is that for a first-year head coach here at Oregon and Chip Kelly to be dealt that after his first game, instead of kicking LeGarrette Blount off the field, get away, you're no longer a part of this program, he removed him from playing for the Oregon Ducks, but allowed him to stay within the program instead of kicking him to the curb, thinking about the young man's future on and off the field. That was the greatest thing that I think Chip Kelly did.
Well, now the Trojans are under the gun here, Herbie, trailing 34-20. The Ducks are loving every minute of this Halloween. And Beatty had hands on that defensive unit over there because they're getting ripped right now. Fake, far side. Receivers well covered, and there's the penalty flag. Too well covered, apparently. That was Lewis, who was all over Williams.
Oregon's defense, at least on that play, now changing. They've been crowding the line. Now the safety's backing off, and it's going to make it that much tougher on young Matt Barkley.
Was this pass catchable? The officials are conferring.
Pass interference, defense, number 14. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul, first down.
It's Javis Lewis, who is a safety playing corner. Getting a little bit too physical when the ball's in the air. And, you know, Brent, Barkley now, he's executed pretty well with Oregon expecting a lot of run and crowding the line. But now things change. You get down by 14 in the second half, you start to realize they're going to be throwing the ball quite a bit.
They give him Bradford as a running back and a protector. Comes back to the left side. And there is Williams again, and again, young Barkley. Older than his years, looking to the right, looking hard, coming back quickly to the left.
I love his vision. Look at this. I mean, for a senior, for Mark Sanchez to be out here throwing for USC, showing that ability to read the entire field. You know how many college quarterbacks can read all the way from their right, coming all the way back to their left? Not many.
Second and 1. Bradford picks up the first down to the 49-yard line.
Bradford, the ball carrier.
I think it's important with just under 5 minutes to go here, Brent. In the third quarter, you're down by a couple touchdowns. You're going to see Jeremy Bates not completely abandon the running game and try to figure out if the safeties are sitting back. You still have to have that ability to run the football and pound the rock into that defense. They're sitting back waiting for the pass. It puts too much pressure on Barkley and these receivers.
First down. Got to be careful as he goes down and is sacked. That was Eddie Pleasant again, the sophomore from La Palma, California.
Gotta love the call by Nick Aliotti here. 1st and 10. Forget about being conservative. And I'll tell you, Eddie Pleasant's been all over this field tonight, number 11, whether it's been in coverage or blitzing him with his speed. That time he and Brandon Bear, the big defensive tackle, putting too much pressure on Barkley. But the confusion up front was the key there.
Second down and 17, incomplete, and now it is third down.
All of a sudden, when you start to bring pressure from different areas, you get an offensive line that's not protecting Matt Barkley as well. So Matt Barkley, he's human. He's going to feel that pressure. All of a sudden, you start to lose your rhythm and also your accuracy. That time throwing the ball well behind his receiver.
Third and 17. Pressure. Won't get the first down. A delayed blitz forces Barkley out of his comfort zone. He wants a face mask penalty, and it looked like it was an inadvertent grab of that face mask. That's about as angry as I've ever seen Barkley.
Well, Spencer Haysinger is going to come right here, Brent. You talked about it. It's a delay. They're rushing 3. See how he just pauses and then comes? He went right by Tyron Smith, the right tackle, who was blocking air. He went right by him and put the pressure on Barkley.
Short punt. But it'll go out of bounds at about the 20-yard line, and that's where the Ducks will take over. Well, on Tuesday, November 3rd at 8/7 Central, they arrive. They will bring us hope. They'll bring us peace. They will change our world forever. ABC's new series premiere, V, Tuesday, November 3rd at 8/7 Central on ABC. Hey, I had something happen in Vegas. I was down with Greg Maddox and Butch Harmon, the fundraiser, the charitable event. I had a hole-in-one in my group. No. Yes. The doctor from Henderson, it was unbelievable. It was 6-iron, 178 yards.
Did you guys sprint to the hole?
Yeah, well, we did have somebody who sprinted up to the hole to make sure it was in there. He said, carry it away.
Have you seen many of those in your day?
No, I've had one, and that's the only one I've seen him. It was more exciting watching somebody else do it. And
Lisa's not had one.
She's had a hole-in-one.
Yes, I have.
Come on, girl.
In Bali, yes, a few years ago. I did it in Bali. It was 135 yards. I used a 7-iron. Yes, I did.
But who's counting?
Second down and 5. Good for you, Elise. Masoli hands it back off now, and here he breaks into daylight again. Still going. Near midfield. What a performance by LaMichael James, a redshirt freshman from Texarkana, Texas. 23 more yards. Herbie, he's put up 170 on these guys.
You know what? This is not zone read. This is not confusion. This is a power play where Carson York, the left guard, again, is leading his way around and picking up a defensive end outside linebacker, and LaMichael James fitting perfectly right behind him and is running with so much confidence right now within this offensive structure.
First down and 10. Coming again. Let's go to Barner. Let me check that. That was 24. They brought the youngster Barner. Now he's got some quicks too.
They don't let up. When Barner gets in, we saw what he could do on that big kickoff return. This offense right now. You saw Chip Kelly when you were reading that promo for V. You could see Chip Kelly really challenge his team.
And here comes Barner for another first down to the 35-yard line.
When he challenged his team before they took the field with a 14-point lead and time going down under 2 minutes in the third quarter, he senses this is an opportunity to go after this USC defense and try to get up by 3 touchdowns.
One of the bright young coaches in college football. In fact, there's 2 good Kellys. The other one at Cincinnati. There's the Bearcats, undefeated in the Big East. The play is stopped.
False start. Offense number 79. 5-yard penalty.
You know, the last 2 weeks
remains first down.
It's been the pass that has hurt USC's defense, and tonight against Jeremiah Masoli, it's been the running game. Go out about 80 yards a game. Top 5 in the country. They're going to
they've rushed for.
Oh, they're going to go well over 300. You're talking about maybe 400 yards against a Pete Carroll offense or defense on the ground.
First and 15 for Masoli. A little bit high, but a grab, and they pick up a couple of yards on the play. Jeff Mayo. And let me check that again now. That's Eddie Dixon, his second catch of the night.
And there's that versatility where you cannot just think about dealing with Masoli and James and Barner in the running game. They do just enough to keep you honest and make you respect the perimeter within the offense.
Second down and 9. And Masoli breaks into the red zone, and Mays comes up and really pops it at the end of that run.
Now this is the zone read here. He does a good job of being able to make the read, but look at the burst. I mean, that's a USC defense, Brent. He is walking away from defensive linemen and linebackers. Just pulled away from him.
So there is Mays back there. The crowd wanted a flag thrown, but I think in looking at the replay, it looked to me, got him a little bit high accidentally as Masoli was going down. Remember, Mays has been a controversial figure lately. I think the House of Representatives even called him a headhunter, which is pretty unusual. And there is a first and goal, Dixon again. Now they have found the tight end. And they're going back to work here, Herbie.
Yeah, you think, okay, let's stop the running game. Well, no, now he's going to throw it, and what an accurate ball. There is not a lot of room there for Masoli to be able to get that in to Dixon. But this offense in sync and definitely feeling it right now. Chip Kelly wants to keep attacking. Before the quarter runs out, he wants another play.
They're going to get it. Touchdown, Jay Barner. Kenyon Barner, another redshirt freshman from Riverside, California.
Outstanding drive by Oregon, and Chip Kelly sensing the urgency and the importance of this drive right here. He knew he had USC's defense on its heels, and he wanted to attack and finish this third quarter off. Credit the offensive line and the powerful running of these small backs. Boy, they run hard.
So we are talking about the Oregon Ducks and the Pac-10 and the Rose Bowl and all of that. When do we start talking about them for the BCS championship if those teams in the SEC and Texas ever lose? This is a real good-looking football team here tonight.
Where once there were things that didn't belong in the river, now there are things that do. And lottery dollars have helped by restoring steelhead habitat in Hood River. The Oregon Lottery. It does good things. Lottery games are based on chance and should be played for entertainment only.
It's the same, only different. The forever fuel-efficient Civic from Honda.
Tonight's K2 program is brought to you by the Subaru Ski Fever and Snowboard Show.
41-20. A home underdog, the Oregon Ducks, shocking USC right now. Fielded on the 3 by McNeil. And McNeil is down around the 25-yard line. But when you look back at USC's recent trips to Oregon, it has indeed been fright night. Corvallis about an hour away. They celebrated one. Then here in 2007, Mark Sanchez, the loser. And then in 2008, it was the Beavers again. And now here tonight against Pete Carroll, Oregon has put up 41 points, the most they have ever scored against USC in a football game. They lead it 41-20. And McKnight back on the field on that first down. Herbie, it has been some show here.
Yeah, it has. You know, not just tonight, but you'd mentioned the history with dealing with Corvallis and Eugene. 2 good football programs that probably don't get the recognition and credibility around the country that they deserve. Mike Riley doing such a good job at Oregon State. And, of course, Mike Pilati over the years, and now Chip Kelly doing a great job in his first year here in Eugene.
Second down and 6. Barkley, and it is knocked down. Incomplete. Again, John Boyette, the redshirt freshman from Napa, California. What a night he has had.
The thing that stands out about this defense is the overall team speed. That is a tough thing for a safety to make a jump on a play like that and get in front of a receiver without having pass interference called on him. But as you said, Boyette's having a great game. This is somewhat of a no-name defense, but they play so well as a group.
Third and 6. Goes deep, out of bounds, and it will be 4th down.
What? Third down, Oregon knows it's coming, and nobody is open. All 3 receivers covered like this. Tolman Jackson all over. Ronald Johnson has nowhere to go, and the quarterback, Barkley, just has to throw it away.
So, Hartman gets it off. And a fair catch, signaled by Barner. And that's where Masoli and the Ducks will have it. Still almost an entire quarter to go. And the Ducks already have 41 on the Trojan D.
Bye-bye! And it's not the same. We get unlimited calls to any 10 people on any network. But unlike everyone else, the minutes we save, we keep. So why save minutes with your calling circle if they just expire at the end of the month? You're using that one.
Introducing A-List with rollover. Unlimited calling to any 10 numbers on any network and keep the minutes you save. Only from AT&T.
In only 3 days, they arrive. Visitors from beyond.
We're obsessed with visitors. They call it spreading hope.
In the new series that's being called instantly addictive. ABC's V, series premiere, Tuesday, 8/7 Central on ABC.
Well, right now, no one is cheering any louder for Oregon than Boise State fans. You know the story there. Strength of schedule, not much, but they do have a win against the Ducks. And every time the Ducks are able to post a win, it helps Boise State. And they are in a fierce battle with TCU to be that odd man into the BCS payoff. And Herbie, here's your story on the USC defense.
Yeah, this defense has really struggled in recent weeks. We talked earlier about how they've struggled against the pass, but I don't think Pete Carroll anticipated giving up over 300 yards on the ground alone and 41 points here in Autzett Stadium with a whole quarter remaining.
Jeremiah Masoli. City College of San Francisco led the JC team to a national championship, and here he is. He's got Ducks on the march. Let us go on the march to Matt Weiner in New York. Matt.
Thank you, Brent. Time for our AT&T All-America Player of the Week update. Tim Tebow set a new SEC career rushing touchdown record today and accounted for 4 touchdowns overall in the win over rival Georgia. To cast your vote, text vote to 345-345 through your mobile phone. Could win a trip to the national championship.
All right, Matt, here are the Oregon Ducks in a very impressive performance against USC, leaded by 3 touchdowns, 41-20. Masoli just picking up mail in underneath for another first down for Oregon.
Well, that's textbook right there by Masoli. Gallipo, the linebacker, blitzes. And the other linebacker, Shane Horton, is occupied by a crossing receiver. It leaves Mail all alone. Their most experienced receiver. Masoli recognizes it. Mail does a good job of just sitting right there, and it's an easy throw.
509 yards of offense and more. Another first down as James. Hold on, the ball was down.
Heading calm down.
USC signaling touchdown. Will Harris picked it up and ran back into the end zone.
Official pointing touchdown too.
There's the referee back there pointing touchdown. Obviously the replay official is going to take a look at this. I had just a quick look. Let's glance at this now. James with the ball in his possession, being stripped out. Yeah, I can't tell for sure because his back was to me, being turned a little bit when the knee goes down. But here, watch this look. There's no question that it's going to be reviewed. And remember, the call on the field now is a touchdown, and it has to be indisputable video evidence that this knee was down and he had possession. When I saw it with the naked eye, I thought he was down. But how sure can we be?
Brett, his knee was down, his hip was down, his shoulder was down, his entire body is down, and then the ball comes out. You made a great call there, my friend.
So there we.
He's down. Even on that 6th look, he's down. Down again.
What a big moment in this game when you think about it. This is either a touchdown, USC, or Oregon football. It doesn't get any bigger than this one. And instant replay is taking its time. This is your ultimate trick or treat right here. also taking him too long.
Yeah, I mean,
After further review, it has been determined that the runner was down. It is going to be second down on the 44-yard line. Please reset the clock.
When it's going your way, it's going your way.
No doubt about it. You know, Pete Carroll told Will Harris and the entire SC defense that they've got to get the football back to the offense. Obviously, down by 3 touchdowns here. Rip that football out of there.
So they spotted at the 44. They'll reset the chains. We're going to have another conference. Now the down marker is being moved back to the other side and back to the 46. Talking to Will Harris, the young man who dashed in, but the ball carrier was already down.
It'll be 1st and 10 on the 44-yard line. Please reset the game clock to 12:19. 12:19 on the game clock. 1st and 10 on the 44.
(41-20). Oregon upsetting USC and battling to stay unbeaten under Chip Kelly in the Pac-10. Remember, they were embarrassed on that opening night, which seems now so long ago, down in Boise against Boise State. And Masoli, who, if I'll tell you, if they voted for the Pac-10 quarterback of the year right now, I'm not so sure Masoli would not win it.
Who would be in competition with it?
Well,
besides
Barkley,
Matt Barkley.
the youngster down at Arizona's had a very good year, and Luck started off very well against Stanford. And Mr. Locker is a pretty good quarterback, but he got outplayed by Masoli last week in Seattle. Davis, the intended target.
I think this offense, he's the beneficiary of playing in an offense right now that it is really attacking and hitting on all cylinders, and he obviously has a lot to do with that.
Oh, you got to have a trigger man in this offense.
Yeah, he is right in the middle of this, and it reminds me a lot of where they were a couple years ago with Dennis Dixon, where they almost got to the point where they were unstoppable until he had a knee injury. He was on his way that year to winning a Heisman Trophy, and Oregon was going to the national title.
Complete for a 1st down. So Masoli finds Jameer Holland, the transfer from USC.
We were talking about it at the break. Is Oregon going to let off the accelerator here and just trying to work the clock up with 3 touchdowns, or they can continue to attack? Chip Kelly showing you his personality here. Even with the lead, he's not changing his offensive style at all. If anything, they've pulled back a little bit on the tempo, but they are still throwing the football and running and doing what they've done the entire game.
Quick strike back to the outside. Got a block. Netune is out of bounds, and back inside the red zone are the Ducks.
If If you're expecting them, if you're USC and you're just expecting a run by Masoli and they're just going to work the clock, and what USC's doing again, they're going to load up the line of scrimmage and they're going to give them that quick pass to the outside. And 2-8, even at 6'5", still showing you a little bit of nifty moves there to pull away from some of the defenders.
545 yards for Masoli and this offense. And that was a poorly thrown ball because the defender, Pinkert, really had position on the receiver. One of the few times that Masoli has not had an open target to throw to.
I think that time he got a little greedy. He actually had a receiver right there in front of the intended receiver if he just puts it out in front of him. But instead he tried to take the shot into the end zone that time to Holland to pick up the touchdown. But if it goes to the shorter throw, he picks up another first down.
They stack 3 receivers to the left, roll in that direction. Incomplete. Just overthrew his intended target. 2-8. Third and 10 coming up for the Ducks.
USC leads the nation in sacks with 29 so far tonight. Not been able to get to Masoli because of his ability to get away from pressure when they have gotten in there.
323 rush yards, and there's a penalty flag thrown by the umpire, false start. So that'll cost him. And the Ducks have had 8 penalties here tonight for almost 50 yards. So we want to remind you that right after the game, late local news over most of these ABC stations, and over on ESPN, you can turn over to Sports Center for post-game analysis as well as today's scores and highlights. Texas rolls against Oklahoma State. Florida does likewise against Georgia. Alabama takes the week off. And there's Masoli on the keeper. First and goal.
This time he's just going to cut right underneath Nick Perry with his quickness. Picks up a nice block there by Kaiser. But this is predetermined. He's going to make this move right into the inside of SC's defense. There's a huge seam there. And this, again, is an example of Jeremiah Masoli at 5'10", 220 to 25 pounds. Has such acceleration and low center of gravity, along with that burst, that it's tough to bring him down.
Penalty flag again. The umpire stepping in. And a referee joins him.
Masoli tonight is doing it all. You can see he's 138 yards tonight, a career high, but has also thrown for 222 yards. We're talking about putting it all together tonight against this Trojan defense.
Buddy James. That was Kennard making the stop for the Trojans. Second down and goal.
Talk so much about Masoli and James. You know, that offensive line, they've just not allowed any penetration at all. They've played such a great game and kept the pressure off of Masoli.
Here's James trying to pick his way and battling across the 5. One of the problems that a young running back like James is going to have, and it's a nice problem to have, but he is such an effort guy when there's hard contact made. I dare say somebody's going to stand him up and strip him somewhere along the line. You run into that when you're a running back, and you try so hard after contact to pick up those extra yards. Yeah. But he is a fine-looking back. Young man from Texarkana, Texas. Like Max said, he can't have them all. They're down and goal. And he's stacked up in the middle. Casey making the stop for the Trojans. When you think about this, you think about those 4 outstanding linebackers who are gone from USC. You think about the defensive coordinator, joined Steve Sarkisian up in Seattle. There were an awful lot of losses, and this is a team that figures to grow this year and next. When you look at the juniors, sophomores, juniors who are linebackers on this Trojan team. Here's Morgan Flynn on now to attempt the field goal. This, by the way, was Oregon's 10th possession of the game, and it was their 8th trip to the red zone. So they've handled the ball 10 times, and 8 times they've been in the red zone. Remember, they fumbled once. They got 5 touchdowns, and now they add a field goal. And it is 44-20. The Ducks with the lead.
It's Chevy Truck Month, and that means full-size deals on full-size trucks. Like Silverado, backed by America's best coverage. And with the lowest cost of ownership of any full-size pickup, it's America's best value, too. Now, during Chevy Truck Month, get 0% APR for 60 months or $6,000 total cash back on select 2009 Silverado vehicles in stock. See your local Chevy dealer.
Taco Bell's fully loaded nachos, piled high with toppings like seasoned beef and nacho cheese sauce, so there's never a naked chip. And for $1 more, grab an extra large drink and make it a fully loaded deal. Think outside the bun.
Red or white?
When you want to get away,
Both.
Enterprise will pick you up and get you going to romantic weekends. Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Well, I'm missing all the times we had together. You and me hanging out whenever. Why do we have to hide this thing we have? It's just not right. I'm so glad we're finally here together forever.
Your Windows stuff goes where you go. New Windows Phone at Verizon.
Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. Chevy and our award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers. Verizon Wireless, America's largest 3G network. And Merrill Lynch Wealth Management. Learn more at ml.com/help2.
We are back. Oregon to kick it off again, and Rob Beard has been very busy here tonight. Line drive through the end zone. It'll come out on the 20. This is a Halloween to forget if you are Pete Carroll. 44 points tonight, the most allowed under a Pete Carroll coached USC team. The first 5 games this year, Carroll's defense allowed only 43 points. That's 5 games. 43 points. That's 44 tonight in one of them. Notre Dame scored 27 and a loss. Oregon State 36 and a loss. And Oregon, headed for a win, has put up 44. That's 107 in the last 3 games. Barkley, screen, McKnight, incomplete. Texas a winner tonight, 41-14 over Okie State. And now we'll see if the voters wind up jumping Texas over idle Alabama. You're a voter.
Yeah, I think the thing that's starting to separate Texas from Alabama is the quarterback play. You're seeing Colt McCoy starting to really turn it on. And Greg McElroy in the last couple ball games for Alabama's offense starting to become a little bit vulnerable, becoming one-dimensional.
Incomplete. Stripped away. The other thing about this Oregon team, ladies and gentlemen, they're not just beating teams. They're pounding them. Cal by 39. Washington State by 46. UCLA by 14. Washington by 24. And here tonight, they lead USC by 24. Barkley comes back the other way. And that is short of the first down, and that's Damian Williams.
This defense has been at it the entire game. Nick Aliotti, you know, he came out and he made a comment that surprised some people. He said, I'm starting to see some comparisons to that 94 defense, the Gang Green defense that led the Ducks to a Rose Bowl. And you start to watch them, and you start to see some similarities as far as the effort, the enthusiasm, the way they rally to the football. Man, these guys play really hard.
So here is Harfman, and that is a short punt. And Masoli will have half a field to work with, and that's a very dangerous move by a Duck down there. A sellout crowd loving it here in Eugene, Oregon tonight. 44-20 Ducks.
Who says lightning never strikes twice? Introducing the supercharged new BlackBerry Storm 2. Wi-Fi enabled, ultra responsive, tons of apps. And because it runs on the network with 5 times more 3G coverage than AT&T, it just may be the perfect storm. It's Chevy Truck Month, and that means full-size deals on full-size trucks. Like Silverado, backed by America's best coverage. And with the lowest cost of ownership of any full-size pickup, it's America's best value, too. Now, during Chevy Truck Month, get 0% APR for 60 months or $6,000 total cash back on select 2009 Silverado vehicles in stock. See your local Chevy dealer.
Fresh, never frozen North American beef.
Real crispy bacon.
Fresh sliced beefsteak tomatoes.
Hey, with double thick bacon.
Melted cheese.
Apple with smoked bacon.
Wendy's new Bacon Deluxe.
Dude, did you mention the bacon?
You know when it's real.
27 consecutive bowls.
12 conference titles.
And 2 T-bones.
My man. Hot Bobby. Oh, Hot Bobby.
The more you save on insurance, the more you'll have for football. Are you in good hands?
Daggone. Daggone.
Hi, my name is what? My name is my name is Slim Shady.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 8th wonder of the world. H to the Izzo, V to the Izzy,
Hi.
to the Izzo.
What?
The Izzy, H to the H to the
Shady.
H to the
Shady.
That's the anthem. Get your hands up.
Jay-Z versus Eminem. One of 93 original mashups. DJ Hero. Rated T for teen.
They arrive. ABC's V. New series premiere. Tuesday at 8/7 Central.
Well, Brent Musburger with Lisa Salters and Kirk Herbstreit. And Herbie, let's take a look at the Pacific Life game summary, my friend.
Now, Matt Barkley, the young freshman, started early, throwing the football and making some big plays for the Trojans in the first half to keep them in it. But let's face it, it's been all Jeremiah Masoli. 360 total yards running and throwing, and Michael James giving him nice balance in this offense, doing almost anything they want to do against this SC defense.
7 minutes remaining. 1st and 10. And Masoli hands it off now to Andre Crenshaw, their 3rd tailback, and he bolts for a first down. Herbie, we got a crowd of 59,592, and I must say, it is one of the loudest crowds that we have heard. They have been in it since the beginning.
I would put this crowd, and you talk to people in the SEC, they start to snicker when you hear 55 or 59,000 people. But when you're down here, because of the way the crowd's on top of you, without a doubt, Autzen Stadium is a top 5 atmosphere and crowd factor for opposing offenses.
Absolutely. Crenshaw. Let's go down below to Lisa. Lisa, it's got to be a little noisy down there, too.
Yeah, guys, and I've got this decibel, the sound level meter with me, and it's gotten as high as 110 here. And it doesn't seem like this is a big place. Like you said, 60,000 people here. And I usually don't keep both of my headsets in because I like to have to be able to hear out of one ear what's going on around me. I've had both of my headsets in the entire game because that's how loud it has been here.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Glad to hear it's louder than a vacuum cleaner.
It better be, right?
It's down having a real nice Halloween. Yes, indeed. Second down and 9. And just using the running back Crenshaw to start to bring the clock down. They've used 3 tailbacks now. And of course, Masoli's been a big factor rushing. Total of 358 yards. They have 2 100-yard backs here tonight. In fact, James almost hit 200. He's out with 183 yards tonight. Masoli with 138. Now, Wynn have 2 backs against USC, gone for 183 and 138.
That's a great question.
Well, that's pretty remarkable.
George Hill's going to stay busy looking that one up.
George thought he was just going to wind it down nice and quietly. And you send him quickly to the record books. He and Brian both searching, and look at this. Masoli, and he's down close to the 10-yard line.
This is a great read. The defensive end collapses down. And Masoli, how fitting for him to get this offense. Over 600 yards of total offense on a play that really symbolizes the Oregon offensive attack tonight and the way they've been able to do, again, anything they've wanted against SC.
He's got 165 now, and this is Oregon's 9th trip to the red zone here tonight against USC. Inside handoff from Crenshaw.
Remember in the open I talked about Oregon's offense and how diversified it is. They run the football with their backs tonight. This is tonight. They run the football with Masoli in the zone read. They hand it off to James. If you spend too much time stopping that, they get it out to the outside. Here's DJ Davis. And then if you think, okay, let's stop the running game and the quick hitters, they'll slide a wide receiver or tight end behind you and find the open seam. So Chip Kelly from the field calling the plays has such a great feel of when to attack the weakness and the vulnerability of any defense that tries to slow down his offense.
Intent to just keep pounding away up the middle. The clock winding down to 3:30.
And the straw that mixes the drink is having the quarterback. The X factor is the system with a quarterback that can throw it and can run it and play with such poise. And that's exactly what Masoli brings to the offense.
Chip said, I look for a quarterback who can run, not a runner who just throws fairly well.
Yeah.
You got to get a quarterback. The trigger man. And Masoli and Crenshaw check over to the sideline here. Coach is bringing that clock down. 3rd down and 3. Here's Masoli battling for yards. Because the one thing that you should be thinking about, and I dare say I guess he is right now, having your quarterback out here in garbage time at about 3 minutes when he throws his body around like that, you got to be a little careful. The last thing they want headed into Stanford next week is for Masoli to get shaken up here in the last 3 minutes by one of the angry Trojans unloading on him. You got to be a little careful.
You're right.
With your quarterback at risk down here now.
It's like Chip Kelly just going to work some clock here before he uses one of his 2 timeouts. It's up at the top of the screen there and walking down talking to the official.
Just a remarkable coaching job, and Mike Bellotti deserves a lot of credit for bringing Chip Kelly out here. Head coach at New Hampshire. He's been the offensive coordinator at New Hampshire. Graduated from there. Never played collegiate football. One of the few head coaches who can claim that. And what a coach he has been tonight.
3, 2, 1.
From the CTS, the most acclaimed vehicle in its class for the last 2 years. Now comes the CTS Sport Wagon. Its technology and performance rivals the Europeans. Its bold design steers clear of the luxury default button. And it could only have come from one place.
America, we have reignition.
want my new baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back.
Your favorite baby back ribs just got even better. Slow smoked in-house for hours over pecan wood chips to create a sweeter, smoky flavor and fall off the bone tenderness. Then they're triple basted in one of our 3 delicious flavors. Chili's new better than ever baby back ribs. Part of our 3 courses, 2 people, $20 deal, where you can share an appetizer, choose 2 entrees, and share a dessert. For a limited time, only at Chili's.
John Hancock, the future is yours. Visit findtheanswers.com.
So we welcome you back to Eugene, where the Oregon Ducks are on the verge of one of their biggest home wins ever. Still unbeaten in the Pac-10. And their field goal kicker, Morgan Flint, trots onto the field. The backup quarterback, Nate Costa, will put it down. This is a 23-yarder. And it is 47-20. And Kirby, one of the things I always look forward to, so I can second guess you.
Yeah.
Let's put the top 5 together. You got your cohort Lisa down there with all them fancy helmets. What are you going to do?
I think this is last week's top 5, and now you gotta move some things around. I think you got to move Iowa out of there. You got to move USC. You had a way to throw them out of there. You got to move USC out of there. I think you got to move Texas to 2 because of the quarterback play that we talked about earlier. Move Alabama back to 3. Now we got to fly the Oregon Ducks, I think, replacing USC.
All the way
up
from
there to number 4, and then the TCU Horned Frogs, who just keep getting it done at number 5. Lisa, well done as always. Appreciate that.
Now, you know my only second guess is I think the Hawkeyes should be number 5.
Well, hey.
Because I think a win is a win is a win.
I'm with you on that. I mean, and you could put Iowa in there. Maybe
I'm not trying to put TCU down.
Maybe by the time I get an hour of sleep and fill in my top 25, maybe I will move Iowa in there. I don't know.
Hey, your boys got a game? Your boys got a game tomorrow in Columbus?
Got to catch a red eye. Last game.
Oh, you got to get in there with that. Huh?
Absolutely.
That's great. That's terrific. Well, of course, tomorrow, a lot of you will watch NFL football, but, you know, during an occasional commercial, go on over and watch a little Talladega. That's one of the best tracks in all of NASCAR, and Jimmy Johnson, just an amazing 4 years to think that he's headed to win it again. The old guy there, Mark Martineau, he represents all those old folks. He's still right there in the chase. Juan Pablo Montoya jumped back in. He had a couple of very tough weeks. Got involved in some accidents, but he's back in there in 5th place. He's had overall a terrific year. And
has anybody ever won it 4 years in a row?
No.
Never
the Chase.
Jeff Gordon in the heyday?
No. Because remember, the Chase came a little bit later after some of those guys, and they put it together. And Jimmy's a good sports fan. I mean, all over. That was Gable, who's coming to be the running back, and now they flare him with Barkley. Let's take a look, Herbie, at Barkley's stats. 19 of 32, 160 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. And I thought he played well. I don't think you can blame any part of this on him.
No, in the first half, he played very well. I mean, Oregon decided to stop the running game with numbers, and they felt that they had to put pressure on the freshman. Yeah, and he delivered in the first half. He threw it 22 times. Not a lot of big plays, but he was doing enough to be able to give the offense an opportunity. But the second half, boy, Oregon, they made adjustments and dominated, especially with their offense.
So incomplete, and of course the Oregon Ducks unbeaten in the Pac-10. Let's take a look. Now, I mentioned Stanford. Jim Harbaugh and the gang with a week off. I'm sure they've been keeping a close eye on this one. Then Arizona State here in Eugene. They got 2 tough trips out. Stanford and down to Tucson. to play Arizona. And of course, who knows about the Civil War?
There isn't a gimme left on their schedule. I mean, and hopefully people around the country are watching this and appreciating the Pac-10 more than just USC. That's one of the most frustrating things around the country, that people don't realize the depth and the talent in this conference. People want to see USC, but they don't realize what Oregon do, and Oregon State and Arizona this year, and Arizona State. There's such great skill in this conference, and a lot of times they don't get the recognition that they deserve top to bottom.
This is going to be a very emotional rush the field here in Eugene.
I'm glad we're up here.
When you think of where this team has come from since that opening night back in September, that horror show down in Boise, Idaho. I mean, this is unbelievable.
I'm glad you brought that up, because in 34 seconds, I'd just like to say, I think what Chip Kelly has done, taking his team from Boise and the loss and what happened with Blunt, suspending him, losing some players in the secondary, his team's playing as well as anybody in the country the last 5 weeks. Seriously recognized Chip Kelly as not only a Pac-10 Coach of the Year candidate, but a National Coach of the Year candidate.
I certainly second that, Herbie. 4th down and 1 in the Gable. Keeps it in possession of USC. Pete Carroll and the Trojan staff, they have to be a little shell-shocked about the performance of the defense, or lack thereof. I mean, when you think of giving up 613 yards. Remember, this score was tied at 17 with 3:17 to go, and striking downfield with the pass, Bryce Butler making his catch, the young man from Georgia. But 3:17 now in the second quarter. We were deadlocked at 17. Oregon has outscored USC 30-3 since then.
If you want to look up a stat, look at second half scoring against USC in the last 3 weeks.
Boy, Barkley would love to tack up one here just for pride. Firing end zone high. 3 seconds left on the clock. Yeah, Mr. Masoli, you had a good one tonight now.
Feeling good. SC's been hemorrhaging the last couple of weeks, just being able to survive in South Bend at home against Oregon State. A lot of people felt they would regroup, a chance to once again get out on the road and show what they could do in a big conference game, but give Oregon all the credit.
Blitz on Barkley, fires back toward the middle. It's intercepted, and that'll do it. There's a new king in the Pac-10. T.J. Ward with an interception to close it off. And Coach Kelly seeks out Pete Carroll. And the students storm the field here in Eugene. The most points a Pete Carroll USC team has ever surrendered. And for the Oregon Ducks, their first 5-0 start in the Pac-10 since 1948. Young James with 183 yards rushing. They're just coming over the walls.
Look at the duck body.
The mighty Ducks of Eugene. And they can't find anybody. Where's the microphones? Here's Masoli. Lisa, I expect to see her getting tossed up there with the duck. Let's go to Lisa with Coach Kelly. Lisa.
I'm just fine, Brent. I have not gotten tossed around, but I'm with Chip Kelly. Chip, if I had told you that you were going to beat USC by 27 points, what would you have said to me if I told you that you would beat USC by 27 points?
I mean, we don't know what the outcome's going to be, but we felt pretty confident going in because of how our players prepared.
Now, over 600 yards of total offense. What was the key to so much success? Over 600 yards of total offense.
That's a good night.
That's a good night.
I think, our players competed. It's a great group of guys. It's a special team. They just got something about them, and it's a great group to be around right now.
Now, what impressed you most about your quarterback, Jeremiah Masoli, tonight?
He didn't do anything that I've never seen before, and that's him. He can beat you with his feet. He can beat you with his arm. I think think he's just a talented kid. He's an unbelievable competitor. All he does is win.
Now, here's something else that might impress you. 11 possessions you had, and 9 times you guys were in the red zone. What does that say about your offense?
You know, we preach to our team all the time, finish, and that's what we did, finish.
Congratulations to you, Chip.
All right, sorry to get bounced around.
47-20. And the Oregon Ducks go to 5-0. Arizona and Stanford now in pursuit as USC stands at 3-2. So an amazing night here in Eugene, and an awful lot of nice folks have made this a very hospitable trip for our ESPN crew. And we hope you've enjoyed spending part of Halloween with us. I think everybody enjoyed this one except the Trojans of USC. But they'll be back. And now we'll take you to Times Square for the Ford wrap-up with John Saunders and Jesse Palmer.
Welcome, everyone, to the Ford wrap-up. John Saunders and Jesse Palmer as we wrap up what was not a very scary day for a couple of teams who now hold their fate in their own hands. Texas, we knew that coming in. Oregon, of course, has made it that way now. Let's first talk about Texas. Big win over Oklahoma State. A couple of weeks ago, we were starting to question whether or not this was a complete team. No question now.
The second week in a row, Texas looks like they're the most complete team in all of college football. For the second consecutive week, Colt McCoy looks like the 2008 version, the Heisman Trophy runner-up version that we saw last year. The defense swarming all over the field, multiple turnovers. They convert turnovers into points. You look at the rest of the schedule right now for Texas, UCF, Baylor, Kansas, Texas A&M, not a lot in the way of Texas making a push for a Big 12 title and potentially a national championship.
Well, definitely if they win the remainder of their games plus the Big 12 championship, because one of the teams above them, Alabama or Florida, is going to lose, they will play for the national championship. Now, Oregon, on the other hand, they go out and blow out USC, and the USC already coming in with a loss, which means Oregon has their fate in their own hands, at least as far as the Pac-10 is concerned.
And they are so explosive on offense right now. Jeremiah Masoli throwing the football, runs for over 100 yards today against USC. LaMichael James, career day today on the ground. They're scoring points all over the football field. Undefeated in conference play. They look very comfortable right now as a football team. USC won 7 straight Pac-10 titles. That streak looks like it's in major jeopardy at this point.
There's actually a lot of question coming into this week. Who was the best team? Was it Florida? Was it Alabama? Was it Texas? Florida's offense had been struggling as of late. It's Tim Tebow.
You know, he just scrambled for 50 right there. So we've got to make sure we keep our eyes on him. We're going to have to take care of him after the normal play.
Yeah, have to make sure. This is a manageable game at this point. Let's go to the third. Oregon ball up 27-20. Masoli. That's really what the coach is talking about. That's another broken play. Got plenty of room to run. 26 yards of the game there. Masoli hurting USC in that defense with his legs more than his arm. And he wasn't the only one. Later in the same drive, here's LaMichael James busting through the hole. 18 yards down to the 5-yard line. Next play, James. I'm talking about making it look easy. Was he even touched? Walks into the end zone. 34-20 Oregon. Next Ducks drive. Masoli. A big run again. And not afraid to take the hit from Taylor Mays. That set up Kenyon Barner. 3 yards to the touchdown. Seems like everybody in green was able to run the football. The route is on. It's 41-20, people. This is USC. Oregon trying to put it away, and Masoli, yeah, on the keeper. It's USC's worst loss in the Pete Carroll era to Eugene for what it all means. And Brun Musburger.
All right, Steve and John, you've got to go back to 1946. That's right. Notre Dame hit the Trojans with 623 yards. And tonight, Herbie, Oregon had 613. An unbelievable explosion by the Ducks.
There's Jeremiah Masoli showing his appreciation to the fans. I just think this was one of those games where Oregon knew what was at stake coming into this game. They've been red hot the last 4 weeks in conference play. USC with already one conference loss. The team that won this game knew that they would be in the driver's seat to get to a Pac-10 championship and ultimately maybe to the Rose Bowl. And Oregon took control of this game. Their offense doing anything they wanted, running and throwing, and the gangrene defense of 2009 just putting so much pressure on Matt Barkley and the USC running game that this game was dominated in the second half by the Ducks.
So Masoli, whom you see down there, surrounded by the sea of Duck fans, he rushed for 164 yards, and James hit the Trojans for 183 yards. Now, both of them had more yards rushing as individuals than USC did as a team. They had only 139 yards.
What a great plan by Nick Aliotti, the defensive coordinator for Oregon. Put everybody up at the line of scrimmage because they really respected USC's ability to run the football, and they really put a lot of pressure on Matt Barkley, especially in the second half. But the story of the game, if you missed it, was all about Jeremiah Masoli and the Oregon offense. It was just one of those games where Chip Kelly, as a play caller and an offensive coordinator, does such a great job now as his head coach. They run the football with James all night. If you pay too much attention to James, Masoli can run the football. They get it to the outside on the perimeter. They have a boatload of receivers on the outside. And when you come up tight to the line of scrimmage because of their running game and a quick passing game, they get it behind you. So it's an offense that is so diversified that they keep you guessing no matter what you try to do to slow them down.
So a night for the ages for Jeremiah Masoli, the junior from Northern California. And when the game was over, Lisa Salters had to fight her way through many of the Duck fans, but she finally reached the Oregon coach, Chip Kelly.
I'm just fine, Brent. I have not gotten tossed around, but I'm with Chip Kelly. Chip,
are you all right?
If I had told you that you were going to beat USC by 27 points, what would you have said to me if I told you that you would beat USC by 27 points?
I mean, we don't know what the outcome's going to be, but we felt pretty confident going in because of how our players prepared.
Now, over 600 yards of total offense. What was the key to so much success? Over 600 yards of total offense.
That's a good night.
That's a good night.
Yeah, I think, our players competed. It's a great group of guys. It's a special team. They just got something about them, and it's a great group to be around right now.
Now, what impressed you most about your quarterback, Jeremiah Masoli, tonight?
He didn't do anything that I've never seen before, and that's him. He can beat you with his feet. He can beat you with his arm. I think he's just a talented kid. He's an unbelievable competitor. All he does is win.
Now, here's something else that might impress you. 11 possessions you had, and 9 times you guys were in the red zone. What does that say about your offense?
We preach to our team all the time, finish, and that's what we did, finish.
Congratulations to you, Chip.
All right, sorry you got bounced around.
It strikes me, Herbie, that the last time that Oregon was in the bright lights of ESPN and all over SportsCenter was a night they'd rather forget, and that was that debacle down in Boise State. Now, how much do you think the Ducks would just dearly love to have that one night in Idaho back?
Well, let's first make one thing perfectly clear. The team that they lost to and the environment that the team that they lost to, Boise's a great football team. Boise's a top 5 or a top 7 team in the country, so they don't have to apologize for losing on the road to Boise. But the loss also with their best player, LeGarrette Blount, with a big punch after that, he's suspended. I think the fact that Chip Kelly picked the pieces up from that night and has his team right now playing the way they have in conference play over the last 5 weeks, I personally think it's probably the #1 story in college football as we sit here right now in the last weekend in October.
It has overshadowed another great story out of Austin, Texas. The performance of the Longhorns, who last week took care of Missouri easily, then tonight demolished Oklahoma State. Where do the Horns stand now?
Well, I think people have been waiting to see how their offense would improve, and I think in the last 2 weeks they've taken great strides. Now, the naysayers will say, well, they haven't played anybody. Who has Texas played to warrant being ahead of Alabama or Florida in the rankings? And that's going to be one of those debates we'll have all the way through until we get to a national championship game. But Texas is great on defense. The offense is getting better. And I think the last 2 weeks, those were the big challenges that they faced. And now they're going to hear a lot of, well, you're going to the Big 12 title game. And you and I both talked about it. They've got to be careful. There's still one more game on the road at Kyle Field against Texas A&M. That's been a little bit of a thorn in the side of Mack Brown. They've got to stay motivated. But right now, this team has most of their work behind them at this point.
And talk about a team living on the edge. How about the Iowa Hawkeyes? Again, they fell behind. This time to Indiana. Back they came, 27 points in the fourth quarter.
Now, Ricky Stanzi could not have played any.
Back to you.
All right, Brent, thank you. Great sign we saw. Hey, Barkley, can you hear me now? Pretty good. Sports Center right now. Top-ranked Florida, their old pals from Georgia meeting.
It was a obviously a very difficult night for us, and while the offense was moving it and staying alive, you know, they gave us hope that we could hang with it until we hopefully settled it down, but we never did, so we just ran out of juice to finish the game the way we wanted to, to finish it and get back in it. We needed some plays, we need some things to happen, and they weren't there. So for us there's a real big lesson about this, and the lesson is how we move forward, not what happened. And we really can't do anything about what happened tonight. But it's the next steps that we take. It's the attitude that we take. It's the approach that we put together that gives us a chance to finish. We were here a couple years ago when Mark Sanchez played here and got whipped and lost our second game, and we went about our business and finished the season on a real movement forward and up. I don't remember what happened that year. I don't even know what game we played in that year, but at the end, but we turned the season back on the right track, and that's what we're faced with right now. So without question, these guys feel
the SEC West. Alabama didn't play, has not lost.
It was a combination of things, it wasn't any one thing, because Michael, he did great. We had trouble tackling him. We had him stopped in the backfield 3, 4, 5 times, it seemed like, and he spun around and kind of ducked around and got out and made some big plays. We had a terrible time tackling Masoli tonight, and we didn't figure that was going to be the big issue. We thought we'd be able to get to him and get him down when we had our chances. They did everything that they wanted to do. It was really pretty easy for them tonight.
Pete, you've never lost like this defensively. Are you confident that in a week's time you can fix what happened out?
Oregon, USC 13-1. Last 14 road games against ranked teams. Their only loss in that span, 07, at Oregon. Well, Michael James, you'll see everybody in green was able to run the football on the guys dressed in white. On the next play, James again. Looks like he stopped, right? Yeah, trick or treat? I don't think so. He keeps on going down to the 2. Andre Crenshaw would punch it in. 17-10 Oregon. Here's Matt Barkley rolling out. Finds Damian Williams. Great move by Williams to shed the tackler. And then into the end zone. So we're tied at 17. And then it became the Jeremiah Masoli show. Oh, yeah. Masoli's just going to take this baby over. Hits the hole. Huge gain into Trojan territory. 48-yard run by Masoli. 3 plays later. Maybe he's a little winded. Hands it off to Jameer Holland. Well, throws it to Jameer Holland for the touch.
He's doing most of this stuff on broken play stuff, his damage, he's scrambling around, changing his tempo a little bit. It's not really base stuff, so we got to track him down better. He just scrambled for 50 right there, so we got to make sure we keep our eyes on him. We're going to have to take care of him after the normal play.
Pete Carroll at halftime talking about what they need to try and stop Masoli. Did it make a difference in the third quarter? The coach is right again. A lot of this coming out of broken plays. That wasn't the way Oregon drew it up, but for Masoli, it's another 26-yard gain. Watch it again. Masoli. And we showed him throw a touchdown pass, but really it's more about his legs hurting USC. Later in the drive, Michael James gonna find a hole. Good blocking up front by the big fellas. 18 yards down to the 5-yard line. Next play, James. Now, you want to talk about making it look easy. He walks in it. Was he even touched? I don't think so. 34-20 Oregon. Their next drive, it's Masoli. Another big one. It's good play action. Fooled the camera person, fooled me, and takes a big hit there from Taylor Mays. That sets up Kenyon Barner. 3-yard touchdown. And the blowout is underway. Oregon leads 41-20. Oregon trying to put it away as if it...
Oregon averaged 8 yards a carry on the ground. USC has now lost 4 straight in the state of Oregon. More importantly, though, Oregon now 5-0 atop the Pac-10. After the game, here's Chris Ballard, Curve Street, with Oregon coach Chip Kelly.
A full moon, Halloween night in Eugene, Oregon, and Chip Kelly and the Ducks are the kings of the Pac-10 right now. This is pandemonium. Look, you're a confident guy, and you know you've got good players, but what words would you use to describe 613 yards of offense against the Pete Carroll defense and 47 points, Chip?
You know, when we're clicking, we can be pretty good, but we didn't think going in we were going to have 600 yards of offense. You know, it's a credit to our players. They've bought everything we've sold as coaches. It's about how you practice, how you prepare. We've had a great week since really the Cal game, and we've been on a run because of how well we practice.
You described the growth of this team since a really deflating opening season loss, and how the journey has been to get to where we saw it tonight here.
You know, there wasn't a lot. We came back the next day and just said, we've got to go back to work. We know what we're doing. We're doing the right things, but we need to continue. The other thing is, Boise State's a good football team, you know, and it wasn't like we lost 19-8 to a really, really good football team with a young group and on the road. So my credit, Chris Peterson does an unbelievable job up there, and one game doesn't define you, so we can go out the next week. And the same thing I told him in this one is, this is great, but we got to come back to work on Monday because we have a big game against Stanford, who's a good football team.
In this football game, you see USC, you know about their history, they're in your stadium. Was there a turning point in the football game that seemed to go back and forth in the first half where you guys started to really take control of the game?
The key, I think, was the kickoff return because they drove the field and scored, and we answered right away, and our guys kind of got a little boost out of it and was like, all right, we can do it. And, you know, and then after that, I think we punted once in the game, and that was right at the end of the first half. I did not a very good job of managing the 2-minute drill. I mean, that was our only punt, but, you know, this team, once they get rolling, they play with such confidence that it's kind of scary.
Can you explain to people where you were from Boise State, where you have the incident after the game? You got to deal with that as a first-time head coach here at Oregon. To the last 5 weeks, you guys are playing as well as anybody in the country. What's been the secret behind all of that?
The secret, very simple, is that I talked to the guys the day after the game and said that we have to tell everybody in this country, are we a team of characters or are we a team that has character? And that team has as much character as any team in the country.
You know, the whole world knows about Tim Tebow. They're just learning about Jeremiah Masoli, who quarterbacks a similar type offense. Think about his growth since a slow start to the season for him personally as well.
You know, I think early he tried to force things, and he didn't let it come to him. But when he's in a groove and he just takes what the defense gives him, I'll hand it off because we got a pretty good running back. And then if they're going to overload on him, you know, he's going to make him pay with his feet. And then when he throws the ball, he's extremely accurate. So he's what we want. We always wanted a quarterback that can run, not a running back who can throw. And it depends on what the defense does to you, but we can take advantage of what they're going to do.
A crazy day. The day begins for Coach Kelly here, taking off the duck head at game day in the dark. It ends in the dark as the Ducks unmask USC here. 47-20 to take a big lead in the Pac-10 race.
Third-ranked Texas going to still it off and goes all the way for
USC 47-20. Trojans' worst loss in the Pete Carroll era. The most points they have given up in some 13 years. Back to Eugene now. Chris, Kirk.
Well, Pete Carroll's lost a total of 17 games in his career at USC. This is just the second that was by more than a touchdown. 27 points. We saw a team showing mercy on a Pete Carroll defense at the end of the game by taking a knee, basically, and kicking a field goal. 613 yards. I never thought I'd see an SC defense humiliated like that.
I said before the game that this style of offense with a quarterback that can run and throw is every defensive coordinator's worst nightmare. And Jeremiah Masoli showed you exactly what I'm talking about. Pete Carroll, one of the deans in college football when it comes to getting a defense ready to play outstanding. He had a week to get ready. He knew it was coming, and Jeremiah Masoli's decision-making, ability to run, handing it off to LaMichael James, throwing it on the outside, it was it was an absolute perfect job by Chip Kelly and also Jeremiah Masoli.
And LaMichael James is a freshman from Texas with great quickness and deceptive strength when he runs. He got behind his lineman, and USC has some serious questions to answer defensively now.
Well, USC's defense the last 2 weeks, giving up a lot of yards through the air against Notre Dame and Oregon State. And in this game, boy, it was on the ground. Masoli did enough through the air to just keep USC honest, but I think it was the way they were attacking, multiple formations, personnel groupings. USC's defense for 4 quarters was on its heels. How often in the Pete Carroll era have we ever seen a defense from USC on its heels for the entire football game? Again, give Chip Kelly and his offense all the credit.
And the Ducks defense played very well. Held SC to just a field goal in the second half, and a reality check for Matt Barkley. All the false start penalties, the noise of this place, these people, that played a role.
Well, the crowd didn't maybe affect Barkley, but it affected his offensive line. They had a bunch of jumped calls. They made some mistakes up front. I think they were lacking continuity. I think not having Anthony McCoy affected them, not having Stanley Havili affected them. But at the end of the day, Nick Aliotti, defensive coordinator from Oregon, give him all the credit. A bunch of no-names on this defense, but they fly to the ball and they play so hard.
They're chanting BCS. What about the top contenders for the BCS? What kind of a statement did Florida make against a Georgia team that's really unraveling?
I thought Florida made a great statement today, and what they were able to do with the way they've been executing offensively the last couple of weeks. This was an important day for Urban Meyer, and also for, as I say, Braveheart, to see Tim Tebow, the eye of the tiger, back. Also, I thought that, you know, this is a team in Texas that by going on the road to Stillwater and playing Oklahoma State, a lot of people thought, what's wrong with Colt McCoy in this offense the last 2 weeks? I think they made a statement as well. Very, very impressed with Texas and also Florida today and what they were able to do.
Iowa survives, but almost self-destructs against lowly Indiana. Do you vote them down in the polls based on what you saw today?
I think they're going to. I think I've been holding steady with them, but I think this just continuing against inferior teams to struggle with them, but find ways to win. I think it's going to cost them a bit in the polls.
What a crazy stretch run! It promises to be controversial, a little bit messy with this whole BCS. The Ducks have thrown their big head right back in the ring here, and the Trojans look like they're going to be dethroned in the Pac-10 for the first time in 8 years.
All right, thank you, man. From the blog, some good endings in college football. Southern Miss, Houston.
Even Beavers roam freely. These mighty Trojans have been defeated not once, but 3 times in a row. Which begs the question, why am I talking like this? And did you know how hot a flashlight really can be?
A little burn under your chin right there.
Yeah. Well, USC is one of the last 4 times they have played on Halloween. Lee Corso game day in town, so you know it's a big day. Pete Carroll, game face is on. First quarter, game tied at 3. Jeremiah Masoli calls his own number. Oregon up 10-3. We would go back and forth. Game tied at 10. LaMichael James, a career day or night for him. 184 yards on the ground. That would lead to another Oregon touchdown. All tied at 17 now. Masoli can't find anybody open. Keeps it himself. Stays in bounds. 48 yards in the scramble. That would lead to this. Later in the same drive. Play action. Play action works when your running game works. Jameer Holland back in the end zone. Oregon up 24-17 at the half. Third quarter, all Ducks. James, straight up the middle, touchdown. 34-20. Later in the third, Ken John Barner, straight up the middle, touchdown. 47-20, and all Pete Carroll can do is look on and congratulate Chip Kelly. It's the most points ever allowed under Pete Carroll. Masoli, 222 yards in the air, 164 yards on the ground. There you see James, $183 on the ground. After the game, Lisa Salters caught up with the victorious head coach.
Averaging over 130 yards per game. It's a 17-10 Oregon lead. Matt Barkley, Damian Williams, great move by Williams.
A terrific job by Williams of finishing off the play, getting by the defender and getting into the end zone for the score.
But Oregon gets it right back. We're still in the first half, and time again, Lou, Jeremiah Masoli hurt them running.
They have had all kinds of problems. I'm referring to Southern Cal stopping a running quarterback. You remember the great quarterback Vince Young? they have trouble with them.
And then Masoli hurts him with his arm. To former USC receiver Jameer Holland ducks up 7 at the break.
He's doing most of this stuff on broken play stuff. His damage, you know, he's scrambling around, changing his tempo a little bit. It's not really base stuff, so we got to track him down better. You know, he just scrambled for 50 right there, so we got to make sure we keep our eyes on him.
So Carroll wanted to keep the eyes on Masoli. He said it, Trojans couldn't do it. It's a 27-20 game, Masoli again. Just as Pete said, broken play, nothing designed, 26 more yards. Masoli had 164 yards rushing, Mark.
And what happens with USC, they don't keep contained here, and Jeremiah Masoli is able to break contain and get to the outside and do what he does best with the football, and that's run and make yards.
And it wasn't just Masoli. Michael James was doing it too. James busts through, rips off 18 down to the 5, and on the next play, USC, as if they were conscientious objectors, Lou, James went for 183 on the night.
Well, they just played so well, Oregon did, and just dominated them right from the start.
Next, Oregon drive, 34-20. We're approaching a territory, the most points a Pete Carroll-led Trojan team had ever allowed. Guess who? Masoli. Taylor Mays comes in trying to deliver an intimidating hit and didn't bother Masoli one bit. Kenyon Barner takes it into the barn, and it's 41-20, and a can of whooping duck size being applied to the Trojans' rear end. Oregon trying to put it away. Here goes Masoli again. It would set up a field goal. Oregon kicked a couple. Most points ever allowed by a Pete Carroll Trojan defense, 47-20. Is the final. The worst loss for USC under Pete Carroll, the 27-point margin of defeat, the biggest since '97. That's pre-Carroll. His largest loss had been a mere 11 points to Notre Dame, and 613 yards allowed. Most in school history is only 10 yards more. One of those Notre Dame teams back in the 40s put it on them. This was an absolute thrashing. In years past, when USC's lost games in recent years, been close, play here, play there, woulda, shoulda, coulda, took John David Booty out of the game, maybe they beat Stanford. No excuses. They got destroyed by this Oregon team.
This is the first time I've seen USC getting taken to the shed by any other team. And if you look at the way that Oregon played, particularly their offensive line, they were not intimidated at all by Taylor Mays or this USC defense, the 5th-ranked run defense in the nation, giving up 80 yards per game. What they did is they knocked USC back on their heels time and time again. Not only with LaMichael running the ball, how about the quarterback, Jeremiah Masoli, running the ball time and time again, breaking contain. Not only that, when you can rush the ball for 392 yards on a USC defense, it's something unheard of. You've never seen that under Pete Carroll. It's never happened before, and it may never happen again. But Chip Kelly and this offense kept to their task. What they did is they pounded the football. They protected their quarterback. They didn't give up a sack in this football game. They dominated USC from the start of this game to the finish of this game.
And you wonder, how in the world could it happen? I think you have to go back to this summer when they lost so many great coaches. They lost Sarkisian, became head coach of Washington State. They lost their defense coordinator, Nick Holt, who likewise went up there. Then you go with a freshman quarterback. There's not a rhythm there. They don't gain ground consistently. They run the ball, they'll pick up 9 yards one time, they'll pick up 0 yards the next time. They'll throw a pass deep, they'll throw one short. There's no rhythm, there's no continuity on it, and they have some problems right now. But I know this. Coach Pete Carroll knows how to win. He'll get it straight.
We got 8 guys that are going to the NFL, too, and maybe the expectations placed on USC to maintain that level of excellence that's simply not a realistic thing to expect with losing all the guys and the coaches.
Yeah, but some of the mistakes that you see made are basic fundamental mistakes, and it isn't just necessarily talent. There had to be an awful lot of missed assignments, a lot of missed tackles, because you cannot have that many people running that free that many times in a football game.
Not only missed assignments, but the way that they tackled, they didn't wrap up. Instead of grabbing people and knocking them to the ground, they were trying to shoulder them and hit them. That's not USC defense. That's not the way they're coached. They're coached to wrap up and knock people down, and they just couldn't get it done in this game. But what I want to see is, after this drubbing, how USC handles it down the road.
You need to see how Oregon's going to handle it, too, because this is what they had pointed to. Their players said, this is the team we have to beat. Now, SC has won or shared 7 straight Pac-10 titles, but now Oregon has a de facto 3-game lead on the Trojans, and Oregon marching toward the BCS right now. Maybe Rose Bowl may be better if things break their way.
Well, definitely the Rose Bowl, probably.
Definitely. I know there's still 7 undefeated teams out there. One of them beat Oregon. We'll get to that a little bit later in college football final. Texas, meanwhile, always has its way against Oklahoma State, but typically what the law
as this Oregon Ducks squad. Let's go ahead and show you what transpired a little bit earlier tonight here as they were able to stun fourth-ranked USC tonight on Halloween. Jeremiah Masoli said, hey, you know what, forget the ghosts. The Trojans should just beware of me. Masoli was Oregon's catalyst, accounting for 386 yards of total offense all by himself. And when he wasn't running, well, he was throwing. Holland, the one-time Trojan, burns his former team, and the Ducks would have a 7-point lead at the half. But in the second half, well, they used their entire arsenal of weapons to get the job done. Michael James, he's just a true freshman, and he ran hog wild on SC's cast of characters. 186 yards for James, and if only for a night, Eugene shall be renamed Blowout City as Oregon beats them by 27 points, 47-20. Back live in Eugene, and I can tell you this, if you can believe this one, the Ducks became the very first team, we just learned this, that to beat a Pete Carroll-led SC team by more than 7 points. Hard to believe in Carroll's tenure. The party's going to last long into the night here in Eugene. We're going to have reaction coming up later in sports. Back to you.
All right, Adam, thank you. Well, the Beavers took it down to the wire against UCLA.
He tried to force things, and he didn't let it come to him. But when he's in a groove and he just takes what the defense gives him, I'll hand it off because we got a pretty good running back. And then if they're going to overload on him, you know, he's going to make him pay with his feet. And then when he throws the ball, he's extremely accurate. So he's what we want. We always wanted a quarterback that can run, not a running back who can throw. And it depends on what the defense does to you, but we can take advantage of what they're going to do.
A crazy day. The day begins for Coach Kelly here, taking off the duck head at game day in the dark. It ends in the dark as the Ducks unmask USC here. 47-20 to take a big lead in the Pac-10 race.
Well, Chip referenced it just a bit. Oregon took on Boise State early. We know what the Oregon victory did for the Ducks, gave them the driver's seat in the Pac-10, but what did it do for the Broncos? Final verdict examined.
Because Boise State was superior until somebody else can prove differently. You have to be right and fair and honest in college football and to Boise State and give them credit for that great victory, because I think Oregon's playing as well as anybody in the country today.
Your Honor, I'm not disagreeing that the Boise State victory was impressive, but the bottom line, it was the first-time head coach traveling on the road to Boise State in a hostile environment. Now, if you want to talk about the other teams that are undefeated behind Boise State or ahead of Boise State, Cincinnati, if they went out, automatically they're in. Iowa, if they went out undefeated, automatically they're in. But the question is TCU. Now, the body of TCU on the entire season, if you look at the entire season and what they've done and accomplished, traveled to 2 ACC places. They go into Virginia and win. They go into Clemson and win. Very impressive. But here's the kicker. They go to BYU, a team that's respected across the country. They go there and win. So it's the body of work. It doesn't come down to one game. As someone said, my astute colleague and Hall of Famer, many times it's the best team in the stadium that day. It doesn't come down to one game. It comes down to your body of work for the entire season. TCU has a better body of work.
Your Honor. That same BYU team, a Florida State team, went out there and put a whipping on them like nobody's seen. And we talk about Virginia. I think that's the same.
May have been surprised, but the team wasn't. They were so confident, so calm. This is the 4th year in a row that USC has lost in the state of Oregon, but afterwards it was a completely different scene. The fans excited, the team with the thinking that it just took care of business as it goes for a Rose Bowl. A showdown that starts with a rainbow stretching across Autzen Stadium ends with Oregon striking football gold. The Ducks' convincing 27-point thrashing of 4th-ranked USC is the Trojans' worst loss ever under Coach Pete Carroll.
It's amazing. Just to knock those guys off #1. They've been #1 for like 7 straight years. And these guys work hard in practice and everything. It's just amazing.
Wow, wow. That was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was a great game. I mean, we worked real hard for this. We knew USC was at the top of our conference for the last 10 years. So, I mean, it's been a job to dethrone them. I mean, we got this win. It's a good win for us.
There is no one game-turning play, just 2 standout stars. Quarterback Jeremiah Masoli and running back LaMichael James run all over USC's defense, combining for nearly 350 yards.
Well, this is one of the main reasons I came here. You know, Oregon does play SC every year, and then, you know, I was looking forward to that challenge when I got here, and, you know, to finally get it done was amazing for me.
The Ducks hand part of the win to their crowd of nearly 60,000 screaming fans who were so loud they forced the Trojans into false start penalties time and time again.
My ears are so ringing, but it's a good kind of ringing, I guess. But it's, you know, there's no place like this in college football, and you know, it's unbelievable. Our fans are tremendous. You know, we felt like we had the perfect storm going in with it being Halloween, a night game, a nationally ranked game on ABC television and game day and the whole 9 yards, and our crowd answered. It was an awesome thing to be a part of.
And as Oregon fans swarmed the field afterward, the Ducks refused to talk about any Rose Bowl trip, even though they are now in the talk of the nation's top teams. Well, I tell you what, the Ducks would not talk about a Rose Bowl afterward. They said it is way too early. They still have 4 games left, including 2 big road games and the Civil War here in Eugene. But the reality is they are the only undefeated team left in the Pac-10, and USC now has 2 losses, and the Ducks have the tiebreaker over them. So they are have a very promising couple of weeks ahead of them, and they're just going to take care of business. Live from Eugene, Katie Brown, K2 News.
Still just trying to take it one game at a time, and of course, Katie, we'll see in just a few. Back in sports with more highlights. Thanks for that. Well, a busy night on the highways between Duck fans returning.
Hunters, they're going to be the hunted. For right now, though, it's a great day to be a Duck, Joe. Back to you in Portland.
Thanks, Adam. Nice job. As we mentioned earlier, the Beavers all in Eugene.
Their team swatted USC just like Manu did that bat. It was quite the scene tonight at Autzen Stadium where the Ducks embarrassed mighty USC. We're going to take you back there live to the scene of the Halloween Smackdown where you hear what the Ducks are saying about their accomplishment.
You've seen
the...
Yeah, it was a scary sight if you were wearing USC colors, that's for sure. What we had here in front of a record crowd of nearly 60,000 was a changing of the Pac-10 guard. You know, USC has either won or shared the Pac-10 title 7 years running, but it's going to take a November miracle for them to do it again because the Ducks beat those once mighty Trojans in the submission.
It wasn't that Oregon beat the Trojans in the second half, it's that they beat them into the ground with a running attack that could not be stopped. And by the end, demoralized USC knew it.
We were really playing in a mode we didn't want to be in, and it was really, you know, hats off to them. They figured it out and did a nice job with it and kind of knocked us out of our plan.
Did they ever? Short second half touchdowns by LaMichael James, and later Kenyon Barner put the final touches on a 47-20 victory. What followed? Autzen pandemonium.
It was a big win for our program, for our team. We needed this. I finally puts us above SC. I mean, overall, Pac-10, I mean, it sets us up nice.
We felt like we had the perfect storm going in with it being Halloween, a night game, a nationally ranked game on ABC television and game day and the whole 9 yards, and our crowd answered. It was an awesome thing to be a part of.
And I'm just proud for my guys, and I'm really happy for them. You know, a lot of guys on the team are from SoCal, and this means a lot for them, and I'm happy to be there.
Wow, what a scene on the field. And now not only is the Rose Bowl chatter kicking to high gear, even the national TV crew was asking the question, do the Ducks belong in the national championship picture? They're 7-1, and I guess when you blow away mighty USC by 27, you earn your way into the conversation. That's for sure. Reporting live in Eugene, Dan Christopherson, Coin Local 6.
All right, thank you, Dan. Yeah, we'll check those rankings for everybody tomorrow. Hey, the Beavers played a home game, too, today.
Here I was elected with a mandate
for this Halloween for a long time because it looked like the USC Trojans, they dressed up like a bad defense tonight. Yeah, it was a big-time atmosphere with big-time Rose Bowl implications, and the Ducks met the challenge in a big way as they run all over USC at Autzen Stadium. Yeah, the rookie head coach Chip Kelly, well, he'd be smiling before the game, and after this one, Pete Carroll, well, not so much. In the first, the game tied at 3 when Jeremiah Masoli scores the first of the Ducks' 5 touchdowns on the day. He walks in untouched, 10-3 Oregon at that time. Masoli, awesome today, 164 yards on the ground. LaMichael James, equally as good. Watch him bounce out of tackles and get himself a long gain. That set up a short Crenshaw touchdown run. James, 184 yards on the ground. Game tied at 17, though, and Masoli says, not anymore. That is a 22-yard strike to the ex-Trojan, Jameer Holland. He's lucky to transfer, huh? The Ducks take a 24-17 lead to the break. They never look back. James makes it 34-20 here.
How about over 600 yards of offense on the day for the Ducks? The defense would end the game with this T.J. Ward interception as the crowd, yeah, they're going to celebrate an historical 47-20 win. Now that is a big-time victory. And all right, let's bring back sports director Katie Brown. She was there for all the madness and fun. Katie, the Ducks had to be thrilled with this result.
Oh, I tell you what, they were thrilled. They were not surprised. They said they've worked hard all week getting ready for this, and they plan to win this game. Now, all the talk afterward was about not just the team, but one player in particular, that freshman running back, LaMichael James.
I think he's grown so much in such a little time as far as his reads and the way he sets up blocks and just makes lanes for himself sometimes. And, you know, he's so elusive and slippery. Guys just hit him and he bounces right off. And, you know, when you think it's a 2 or 3 yard gain, he bounces for 30.
How'd you make it look so easy?
Because they're really big. I just hit behind my lineman.
Sneak right through them?
Oh, yeah, and this is determination. I just want to win really bad.
Top of the world right now. It's a great win for our team.
What does this say? You hand Pete Carroll the worst loss ever he's had at USC.
It speaks volumes about our offense, our defense. We can move the ball. We can play with the best of them.
And I told our players that we recruited you guys not to come here to play in games like this. We recruited you guys to come here and win games like this, and that's what they went out and did.
And now their focus turns to Stanford next week. They do not want to talk about the Rose Bowl, don't want to get ahead of themselves. Still 4 games left on the schedule. But again, they are in the driver's seat. USC now has 2 losses. Oregon yet to be beat in Pac-10 play. So going to set up for a very interesting month of November. But if they play like they did tonight, Craig, I don't see how they're not going to be in Pasadena on New Year's Day.
Yeah, they could say they're not going to talk about the Rose Bowl, but the Duck fans, they're talking
We
about the
will,
Rose
right?
Bowl. Exactly. All right, thanks a lot, Katie. All right, let's talk some Oregon State, where the Beavers made it interesting, but the Rogers brothers
All right, ready to